My body is ready.
All of this just works. It just works. Who's laughing now?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 100, the centennial episode of the Game Groofs podcast, the all-encompassing weekly gaming podcast from us, the Goodnight Groofs. My name is Matt, and today I'm joined by Paul, Josh, and Mike, the four of us together for this very special episode. But guys, let's get right into things. Instead of asking you guys how you're doing, they do it on every podcast. I know I say this all the time, but it's true. They really do. They do it on every podcast. Instead of doing that, though, I want to ask everyone what their peak of the week has been. So, Matt. Oh, what's the best thing that happened to you this week? Well, thank you so much for asking, Matt.
There's actually no one else on this podcast. This is Matt's solo.
Episode 100 is just Matt.
This is how Matt announces he's the only one here.
I've been doing voices this whole time. No, but I will go first on Peak of the Week. You know what? Because I never go first. So I'm going first. And there are times where I've forgotten to go because I haven't gone first.
Matt always comes last for our pleasure.
I know. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But my peak was just seeing everyone post their top 10s games list this week. It was really cool seeing just a wide variety of games in everyone's lists. I liked seeing Derek, our patron, his list that was 9 skateboarding games, and then number 1 is Final Fantasy VIII, just the fucking most hilarious list you could come up with.
He said that he was going to edit it because those are the only games he could think of off the top of his head, which means he, off the top of his head, remembered 9 skateboarding games.
At least. How many didn't make the cut? That's what I want to know. Hilarious. But Paul, what was the peak of your week?
Honestly, I think it's probably this. I'm excited. It's really fun to have a list of 100 games from us and from our fans and from our well-wishers. I hate saying fans. It makes me want to cringe so hard. From the people who give us cash.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm really, really excited. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, it's cool to get like an unbiased look, you know? There's no bias in this in any way possible. None. Which is really sick. So we really get to see like what is actually the best game of all fucking time.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Yeah. Josh, the peak of your week.
It was just past Friday, man. I just played Destiny with the clan. Just not that clan.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Not that clan. The Subpartians. That is our clan name in
okay.
Destiny. It was fun. We just literally logged on at like 8 on like a Friday night, just drank and played like custom PvP matches with these ridiculous rules. And it was just fun as hell, man. Sometimes you can make Destiny goofy fun. You gotta be willing to put the work in.
That Grand Wizard came from the moon.
That's it.
Jesus Christ. Mike, your peak of the week.
I guess my peak of the week is the fact that SFG is back, though with that latest announcement from Josh, I don't know how much longer it will be back.
Yeah.
Canceled before it's released.
But yeah, this show again. Yay. No, it was fun.
Episode 61?
Yeah. I enjoyed making it, which was weird because I started it and I wasn't enjoying it.
But by the end, boy golly.
By the end, I was like, all right, I think this is something.
The Stockholm Syndrome took over by the end of it.
You took a bunch of insane clips and made it into a real thing, and you were like, I'm proud of this.
Yeah.
moment.
I took out all my frustration in the edit at Josh, and that's about it.
That F-bomb counter, it went up.
It did go up a lot.
So the episode should be out on Saturday, so the day before this comes out. So if you're listening, if you're not a patron, the new SFG is out. If you are a patron and you're listening on the Friday that it comes out, it's coming out tomorrow.
Unless you give us more cash.
Yeah.
What's the threshold for the short to come out a day earlier?
The short to come out a day earlier?
$100?
I can make it work, yeah. Just straight to the Patreon. I'll DM you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unlisted link. Don't share it. All right, let's move on.
What's in the
Don't
link?
click
Matt?
on those links. Don't click on them.
We call it Mattware.
So We're going to move it on to the Goodnight Groofs top 100 games of all time, version 1.0. And I'm calling it that because maybe episode 200 will revisit this when the community has doubled, tripled, quadrupled in size, and we'll see how everyone's lists have changed. But for now, it's version 1.0. So over the last week, we asked the Goodnight Groofs community, our Patreon supporters, previous podcast guests, and ourselves to provide lists of their top 10 games of all time. And first off, thank you to everyone who did submit a list. We got way more responses than we thought we'd get, so it was really nice seeing everyone come out for that. And what we did was we took everyone's list, we shuffled them together with different weights attached to the games based on where everyone ranked them, and we used the formula to create the Goodnight Groofs top 100 games of all time, version 1.0. So we had 14 lists submitted, plus the 5 Groofs, for a total of 19 lists. And over those 19 lists, there were 163 unique game titles. All the 5 Groofs, we submitted top 20s instead of top 10s, so that obviously helped add to it a little bit, but we wanted to make sure that we were filling out the top 100. So without further ado, we're going to go through the entire top 100 list, starting with number 100. And guys, I want you to feel free to comment on any of these games as we go down this list. Now, I don't know how long this is going to take, but we're just going to go through it and enjoy ourselves doing this because I think this is going to be really fun, talking about all these games, reminiscing, and then also just like having a good time seeing some games show up on the list that were maybe surprises or commenting on where games showed up in their rankings. So let's have at it. All right, so to start off, number 100, and I think this probably came from your list primarily, Josh. Maybe not. Number 100, Battlefield Bad Company 2.
This actually came from Fabian.
Oh, okay.
But understandably so. I loved this game to death. When the beta originally came out, we literally had like 2 full squads. I think squads were 3 people. We had 2 full squads, each with all the, commiserate classes that you needed to have to kind of run a proper squad. And man, we just played rush, charge shit. Like, it was tactical as hell. It was just unadulterated, like, fun that you have when you like have no responsibilities in high school and you can just act like Battlefield Bad Company 2 is the most important thing ever.
Right.
It was so fucking fun.
Second to WoW.
Of course.
Yeah. I think that I played Battlefield Bad Company 1. I don't think I played 2. But I do remember playing 1, and I played the similar situation. I played the beta, and I still have like friends on my Xbox list from that beta, which is crazy. Like people I never played anything else with, just the Battlefield Bad Company beta.
Love that. Just want to jump in here really quick. Battlefield Bad Company 2 came out March 1st, 2010. And here's a fun fact about Battlefield Bad Company 2. The game's development team actually added an Easter egg that allowed players to find and ride a large mythical sea monster.
What?
Apparently there's a multiplayer map called Valparaiso where you could perform a series of like very specific actions, and then it would appear, and then you could actually ride on its back, and it would like make shit go fucking crazy, and it was like a map secret.
So weird.
DICE used to be so fucking cool, man.
I know.
Number 99, Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
This one was on my list. It's sometimes you just have an attachment to a particular Call of Duty, and Black Ops 3 was that attachment. I mean, it's always fair when you like basically ran roughshod and kicked everybody's ass when you played the game.
Yeah.
But it was just, the classes were fun and unique. They didn't feel overbearing. They were just a nice little touch. The multiplayer was just, I just thought it was one of the best places it had ever been in. Have no fucking clue what happened in the single player though.
Yeah, I played Black Ops and Black Ops 2. I don't think I ever played 3 though. But Black Ops is where zombies started, right?
Yeah. Or no, World at War is where it started, but it got probably redefined in Black Ops, I'd say.
Yeah, no, I never played Black Ops 3, I don't think. I just kind of missed out on the Black Ops games, which sucks because I think those are like the best ones at the time.
They're my favorites,
like that was like really the zeitgeist. But I did play, I will say I like one thing about Black Ops 3, which is, fun fact, the first Call of Duty that introduced thruster packs and boost jumps, which I fucking love that shit. And they went on to add that in my favorite Call of Duty, everyone's Second least favorite Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare. Fucking love that shit. So shout out to Black Ops 3 for introducing boosters so they could walk so Advanced Warfare could fucking thrust across the map.
I've won, but at what cost?
Yeah.
Is that second least favorite next to Ghost?
I would say Ghost is probably the least favorite.
All right, number 98, we have Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Interesting. I think this is also from you, Josh. Is it?
I just pulled up my notepad notes. Okay, I didn't think so.
No, okay.
I had it on there for a bit, but I took it off.
I love the original Roller Coaster Tycoon. I don't remember playing 2. Maybe I did. I'm sure it was great.
I remember kids playing this. Like I went to someone's house and someone had it on their computer and they were like fucking around, like, you know, obviously like killing people or making a never ending loop roller coaster. But I never really played it. I will say one thing that's cool about Roller Coaster Tycoon is it actually had a hidden developer mode, which is kind of cool. So you could actually cheat your way into like this weird developer mode by naming a character Chris Sawyer, who's the game creator. And then you actually got like all these like fucking crazy developer features. And you could even actually like get into shit that like totally changed the game. Like you could like make new characters and you could like edit the terrain and all this crazy stuff. Pretty cool.
Did you find a fun fact for every single game on this list?
I have more fun facts for Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh, please.
It was originally supposed to be a train simulator,
Oh,
That's right.
and the guy decided to. It was developed by a single person, written
Chris
in
Sawyer.
Yes, written in. It's written in assembly,
Oh, you're right. Yeah. That's it.
and he went on a trip around the world to like all these different roller coaster amusement parks and went on all the rides and was like, fuck it, I'm making a roller coaster game instead. Fuck trains. Trains are 10 years ago. Roller coasters are where it's at. And that's what he did.
Nice. But Paul, do you actually have a fact for every game on this list?
Maybe.
We know what he did at work today. Okay. Number 97. Let's go right into another Tycoon game because it's Zoo Tycoon.
It's great.
Good game.
So I'll just say, like, I mean, I never played like the original. I think there's like an original Zoo Tycoon, but I had a really good time with the Xbox one, the more modern one on Game Pass a couple years ago. Stayed up all night. It was a pretty fun time. But yeah, I never really got to play it like in its infancy, like in the original. So I don't have a lot to say about that. My one fun fact I have for Zoo Tycoon is that it actually had Bill Gates in it, which is really cool.
What?
If you named one of your exhibits Microsoft, a message would appear stating, "Congratulations, you've unlocked the Microsoft combo style," and it allowed you to build modern buildings. And Bill Gates would show up.
What the fuck?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
PC gaming back at that time with all like the random cheat codes and
I
stuff.
love it.
So cool. Number 96, Age of Mythology.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I don't know what the fuck this is.
It's an RTS similar
Explains
to
it.
Age of Empires, and it's one of my favorite RTSs. I didn't
Same.
have it on my list, but out of the Age of, I'll call it the Age of games, I prefer Mythology and Mythology 2, where you got to build shrines to titans and bring giants onto the battlefield and just demolish people. It's fun. Go through the pantheons, get special abilities. Super cool. Super unique. Very well thought through in that they included Norse, Greek, and Egyptian pantheons so that you could choose how you wanted to play. I liked it. It was good.
Sweet.
Yeah, Age of Mythology was probably my favorite Age of game as a kid. Like, I remember I specifically wanted like a newer computer from my Windows 95 so that I could play Diablo 2 and Age of Empires, Age of Kings. But once I got Age of Mythology, oh my God. Like, I was just like one of those kids who was like really into like Greek and Roman mythology and stuff like that. And I read all this like mythology stuff. Not like enough to fucking like know anything, but enough to like think it's cool. And so, yeah, this was like the coolest thing to me. I loved that, like, it felt more cheaty, like not cheating. Like you could cheat in all the Age of Empires games, but it felt more like, I don't know, special. Also, a fun fact close to home about Age of Mythology. There was actually a cheat called "Oh Canada." And when you put it in, all of the game's units turned into animals, just different animals.
Wow.
So kind of fun,
That's
close
kinda
to
cool.
home. Yeah, I remember using that one.
All right, 95. This was on someone's list, and I don't really know what this game is, it's Opus Magnum.
It's a Zachtronics game. It's a puzzle game.
Oh, was this on your list?
Yes.
Okay.
Really enjoy Zachtronics in general. It's really sad that his studio is no more, not because of bad reasons, but because he decided he's done with the Zachtronics era. So he has closed shop. But all of Zachtronics games are puzzle programming games, essentially, with a different style of how to program things. Basically, you're programming small machines, but it depends on how you're doing it and what you're using to do it. Opus Magnum is a game where you are making you're an alchemist who's making machines that can combine elements and make other elements and upgrade them into gold and whatnot. Everything works on a hexagon system, so the machines that you make are very appealing to look at, especially when they are efficient and are doing the right thing. I don't know. I really like it. It's my favorite Zachtronics game, and at my 20th, I felt like it was a good spot.
Very good.
Love that. My fun fact about Opus Magnum is that it has a speedrunning mode for competitive speedrunners.
Why?
Kind of cool.
I don't want to speedrun that game. That sounds ugh.
All right, next up we have, and I'm kind of shocked that I'm the only one that had this. And since the Groofs had top 20s, so this wasn't in my top 10, but it was somewhere in the 11 to 20 range. But Grand Theft Auto 5.
Matt, tell us about your love of Grand Theft Auto 5.
I just think that, so it was during that period of time where I was getting back into gaming, that 2013 period of time. And I mean, I just think the campaign, like the story mode in Grand Theft Auto 5 is just really good. And the realized world of, I guess, what is it, Los Santos? It's LA, the fictionalized LA is just so well done. And even outside of the city, like the deserty area, the mountains, it's just so well done. I didn't even really play Grand Theft Auto 5 online at all. I just really played a little bit, very little though. I just really played the story mode, and I just thought it was so well done, switching between the 3 different characters. I don't think like it's the greatest game of all time or anything, but I am shocked that I'm the only one that had it on any of the lists.
I kind of like just forgot about it, to be honest. I think it's just been so long since I played it, and they've just had so many re-releases that it's just kind of like, oh, it's Grand Theft Auto. All right, I've just almost like lumped it under one umbrella.
And Skyrim was on your list pretty high there, John.
Yeah, I was going to say that. It's kind of like the same situation. But he played Skyrim more recently, I would assume.
Yeah, for the most part. It's worthy of being on the list. Goddamn, games managed to make a living since 2013, just re-releasing time and time again.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I liked Grand Theft Auto 5. I never got into I liked Grand Theft Auto, but again, it was something I either rented or like friends had it. Like I never like got it as a kid. Like I don't think there was ever like a rule that was like you're not allowed to get Grand Theft Auto, but it was kind of like I never asked for it because it felt like I wasn't supposed to have it. And then, obviously like 4 came out when I was like old enough to buy it myself, but I just like, it seemed more dour. I just wasn't into it. And then I did buy 5. I played 5. It was fun. But I think I think especially now, then a little bit, but especially now, I'm just like not into like the cycle so much of like run around and like beating the hell out of people. And like, I don't know, it just like doesn't have the same effect on me anymore. So anyway, it just didn't really occur to me, but I do think it's really cool. I'm really interested to see how I feel about Grand Theft Auto 6 coming from like saying I'm not super into that gameplay style anymore, but like, if it's really modern and fun, maybe I might. I don't know. But yeah, 5 I agree. I kind of forgot about it, honestly.
I would say this, and this might sound like a dig and it's not supposed to be, but for me, GTA is like, I'll make an analogy to like my TV that I like to watch. I really like watching Hell's Kitchen, but it's trash TV. GTA 5 is kind of like in the same boat. I really like playing GTA 5, but for me, like, I'm not going to put Hell's Kitchen in my top 20 list. I'm not going to put GTA 5 in my top 20 list. I really like it. I probably have more fun in GTA 5, but from just like I don't know. I would say like my top 20 list is like a golden pedestal type situation. Like you go into the Hall of Fame I don't know that I would put GTA 5 there. I might put Red Dead Redemption 2 if I had played it, but I haven't. So
That's fair, and I get that. I just think, especially being in college at the time when I played it and studying like film at that time, Grand Theft Auto 5 felt very filmic. It was a very cinematic approach to video games, and I felt like the dialogue of the characters was extremely natural and just really well written. And so I think that's really why I appreciate the game so much.
I will say there is something to be said about driving down the interstate and a Kendrick song comes on and like a fast ass car that was so much fun in Grand Theft Auto 5. So it does get a lot of credit for that. Story was also really good. You have a point.
And it is kind of fun just like playing an action crime drama. Like that is a fun thing to play sometimes. Next up, 93, another game that I'm kind of surprised it's as low as it is, although the recent narrative around it probably shapes that a little bit, but 93, Overwatch.
Because they took this fucking game away and gave us Overwatch 2. The game I paid $60 for, I no longer have. Fuck the Overwatch team.
I ranked Overwatch based on how much I liked it. Like I didn't. I knew this. I knew Overwatch was going to rank poorly because of like the bad vibes over what happened with Overwatch and Overwatch 2 and everything, and just like the game being dead for 2 years in anticipation of 2, and then nothing fucking happened, and blah blah blah. But I just ranked it based on how much I fucking like loved playing it that first like 2 years of Overwatch. And so, I mean, it didn't rank insanely high on my list because, I mean, I did kind of drop it before it was probably even really done. So, I mean, obviously it wasn't like a lifelong favorite, but I was probably my last shooter I got like properly really into, like a competitive shooter. And yeah, a lot of fun. I fucking, dude, the colors, the characters, the flash, it is just so iconic. It has this great feel that I think like nothing short of like maybe Valorant really has been able to capture, I think, in that same fun way. But unfortunately, like Valorant is so fucking sweaty that I can't enjoy it. So I mean, I would almost say like, you know, if you like extend to like battle royale, something like Fortnite or
I was
going to
say, I think Fortnite has captured that.
Even
the problem with Fortnite and putting it in the same conversation is that with Fortnite, there's so many like skins of like random characters that it loses a little bit of heart that something like Overwatch has.
Agreed.
Number 92, we have Pokemon Puzzle League. I think Dre put this on his list, and I gotta say, this is one of those games where as a kid, N64 got it from Blockbuster, was like, hell yeah, Pokemon game. And then it's Pokemon Puzzle League, and you're like, wait, this isn't what I want.
And then I loved it more.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Fucking loved this game. This game's great. I played it in college all the time. Richie sounds like he smokes like 7 packs a day. It's great.
Yeah.
The voice acting is peak.
Very good.
I will say fun
it's really
fact
good.
about Pokemon Puzzle League is it was actually developed as a game called Tetris Attack. It was meant to be a Tetris game for SNES. And because when they localized it to North America, Pokemon was so popular, they reskinned and like jigged it as a Pokemon game, which is kind of cool. So it was just so popular, they were like, fuck it. And then it became, I think, probably much more iconic than Tetris Attack ever would have been.
Yeah. So wow, from an SNES game to a N64 game.
Pretty wild.
Number 91, game that I've been playing a little bit here recently, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I assume that this is the new version. This was on Evac's list.
Honestly, this one, you could do the new or old.
Yeah.
You say the phrase 7-11-25 to me, and I'm going to know immediately what you mean. For reference, 7 is the Harrier strike, 11 is the chopper gun, or 25 is the nuke. Those are the kill streaks.
This isn't the secret Hitler code, right?
No. I already mentioned the clan earlier. No, this is I fucking love Modern Warfare 2. It didn't make my list just because Black Ops exists. But Modern Warfare 2 is cash. It's so good. God, it'd probably be dog shit if they re-released the multiplayer now, just because everybody is such like campy sweaty like nerds now. But fuck it. It's still a good time. It's ridiculous fun.
Fun fact about Modern Warfare 2 as well, the original, is that it holds the Guinness World Record for most successful video game launch of all time.
Wow.
It was released in 2009, November 10th, and it generated $400 million within 24 hours.
Solid.
Fucking crazy.
They had us by the balls.
Number 90, a game that I like admire and have no interest in, but like just admire the franchise is Doom Eternal.
I'm with you. I haven't played it, but the music, fuck. I'm surprised I haven't, just based on that alone. It's just looks ridiculous.
Yeah, no, Doom Eternal looks cool. I tried playing the first Doom, like not the first Doom, but the first new Doom. And yeah, I mean, it was really fun. I just like, I'm shit at like momentum based games like that.
Yeah.
Like if I just feel like I lose the momentum and then I fucking hate myself. Like then I'm like awkwardly slow jogging because I like lost it. So I don't know. I tried it. It was pretty fun, but it was just like a little much for me. So I don't know, but I'd like to get into Eternal. It looks so fun. I just remember watching fucking people like drama YouTubers playing a Doom and like zooping around while they chatted, and it was like mesmerizing to watch. It was the proto Subway Surfers.
Jesus, if that ain't the most 2016 YouTube thing I have ever fucking heard.
Come on, watching Leafy talk about the girl who fucked her dog while she was playing Doom.
A Leafy is here reference on
Hell
the
yeah,
Goodnight
dude.
Groofs.
No
God
chin.
damn. No chin. Oh, God, love it.
Number 89, Tony Hawk's Underground. I think I played it, but I remember the Underground series not having the same heart that Pro Skater had.
I think I like the second one, but I don't remember the first one at all.
The thing I like is that the game has the acronym Thug, and it's a Tony Hawk game.
Yeah.
That's the thing I like the most. That's not my fun fact. My fun fact is some bullshit about create a park mode, but like Thug. Tony Hawk is the whitest dude I can think of.
All right, number 88. We have Need for Speed Most Wanted. I don't know if this is the only Need for Speed game on this list or not, but if so,
I think it is.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I think it is. And Most Wanted, I would put up there among the top Need for Speed games, but I think just under Underground.
I would agree. I don't know. Most Wanted did a lot of cool shit, especially with the music, especially with the Wanted system. Underground was great, but they were very different games. It's hard to really compare them, but they were both very, very well done Need for Speed games, and then the franchise kind of fell off.
Yeah, it really did.
And we got a movie.
We got a movie. With
They also, interestingly, had in Most Wanted a real life advertisement campaign for the energy drink called Hawaiian Tropic. There were billboards throughout the game. It was everywhere, apparently, and in the open world. So there you go. So if you have to give The Secret Life of Walter Mitty a 45% on Rotten Tomatoes due to advertisements in it, I want to see that same Metacritic for Most Wanted, you cowards.
Yeah. I think Need for Speed is one of those franchises that has always said, no, we're just doing real advertisements. And everyone's always pushing back on it, but they're just like, no, we're actually just going to do it. 87, game that I am not sure I've even ever heard of, to be honest, is Loadout.
I'll be honest, I looked at this game and thought it got canceled within 6 months.
I'm looking at it right now. Okay. I see. This is a multiplayer game?
Yeah, so it's a multiplayer game. You could actually fully customize your weapon loadout, which also changed your appearance, your behavior, and the effects of the weapon. So depending on how you did it, you could like change the whole weapon based on loadouts. And so you could create like crazy builds and then play multiplayer, which seems really cool, actually. I'm kind of sad I missed it.
I'm going to look up right now on SteamDB how many people are playing this game. Can you guys take a guess? Take a guess how many people are in game right now.
12.
7.
35.
There's one person in game right now. One single person.
It's very popular.
Yeah. I hope he finds a game. All right, number 86. Dota 2. Dota 2.
Visita Harry Venta, Dota. I feel you, man.
Look, I'm recently back into League of Legends again. Spoiler
Same.
alert. That'll be on the water cooler.
Wow.
But yeah, Dota 2, I'm good, big dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got into Dota 2, so I can't say much. I will say it did have one of the largest prize pools in the history of esports. In International 2019, they had a prize pool of over $34 million.
Holy fuck, that's a lot of money.
A lot of smackaronis.
What the hell?
It's just so shameless.
It's just Sean Connery over here.
It just so shamelessly, why the fuck is that so hard to say? Just ripped the game from Warcraft 3. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I understand, like, it's good. People like it, but...
Wait, What? Why are you upset that?
You mean Warcraft 3?
They even just called it Dota 2. Come on, man.
Yeah,
to be
Blizzard
fair,
wasn't making
Blizzard the bag.
Blizzard fumbled the bag. They did.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They
100%.
fucked up, man.
It's just
God.
weird. It's always been weird to me that it's called Dota 2. It's weird.
It was genius.
What could have been? What could have been?
Number 85, Pokemon Red and Blue.
I think we can skip this one. It's not anyone's favorite here.
It started it all. It was, I think, my first Game Boy game. Either that or Tetris at the dentist. Like, not the game isn't Tetris at the dentist, but playing Tetris while at the dentist. I remember my earliest memory.
I'm just imagining you toothless with them dropping teeth into your mouth and like turning them so they fit right.
My earliest memory is having not really played NES games. I didn't understand like how to get out of the house. Like when the game started, I couldn't get the character out of the house, and then I thought that looks like a welcome mat. I'm just going to try to walk into the wall. Turns out that's how I get out of the house.
Oh, this fucking story of you being trapped in the house is so funny to me every time. Like, I get it because I probably did the same shit in games, but it's very brave of you to share this, honestly.
Mike, was this your first Pokemon game, or did you started Silver and Gold, didn't you?
No.
Okay.
I didn't play Silver and Gold.
Oh, okay.
No, I have some good memories of Pokemon Red and Blue. I got a Game Boy and Pokemon Blue all at once. It was my first handheld.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
I think
Huge
a
deal.
lot of kids back in the day, their first handheld was getting a Game Boy and Pokemon Blue. It was one of those things though, like it was a weird time because Pokemon Red and Blue was technically a Game Boy game, but I got it with a Game Boy Color.
It was a Game Boy Color game.
No, it was a Game Boy game.
No.
Yeah. Pokemon Red and Blue was not a Game Boy Color game. It was just a Game Boy game.
Yeah, it was.
No, it was a Game Boy. I only had a Game Boy Color.
Same.
I know, but you could play Game Boy games on Game Boy Color.
Yes, and it was in color.
I know, but there was some enhancements, but it was like one color. But it was not a Game Boy Color game. It was just a Game Boy game.
It does say platform Game Boy.
Yeah. It was not made for Game Boy Color.
And
Dude,
it's
that's
$83 on Amazon.
Fuck what I was going to say. That is a fun fact. I did not know that at all. That's crazy. My fun fact was that Clefairy was originally going to be Pikachu, but yours is apparently they weren't going to use Pikachu as the main mascot for Pokemon. They preferred Clefairy, and then they changed it the last minute. To
Imagine how fucking lame if it was Clefairy.
100%. It would be a very different like brony style vibe 100% if it went that way.
All right. Yeah, look up Pokemon Red Blue cover. You'll see.
Dude, that is
Game Boy.
You've blown my mind.
All right. 84. I don't know whose list this was on, but Guitar Hero 3. Certainly not my list.
It was my list, baby.
Fuck yes, Josh. Thank you
Was it
for
on
including
yours?
Guitar Hero. Oh, sorry. Was it on yours? I thought you said it was on yours.
No, it is on mine. I just wasn't sure if it was on yours too.
It wasn't on mine, but it was my favorite Guitar Hero. It's so fucking good. I loved this game.
Yeah, I wish I could just loop all the Guitar Heroes in because I just love Guitar Hero. I haven't played it in so long. I honestly probably should get into like the Clone Hero thing just because I love Guitar Hero so much. I'm not particularly great at it. It was just so fun. I love music. I can't play guitar for shit, but like being able to just like sort of play guitar and just like vaguely vibe out and just like hit notes and shit. It just like it simulated just like it's gonna sound so lame. It simulated like being in a fucking band so well and just playing guitar. It was so fucking fun. I love Guitar Hero 3. I mean, honestly, not only that, the like actual sync and the feel of the buttons mashing and like measuring up with each other was perfect in Guitar Hero 3 compared to like Rock Band is like the competition. It was miles apart.
Yeah, no, Guitar Hero 2 and 3 were my fucking shit. I loved those games so much. And then, I like playing Rock Band with friends, but I could like jam out by myself and just go hard on Guitar Hero for hours.
Me too.
Also, fun thing about Guitar Hero 3 is that it holds the highest grossing music. It has a title for the highest grossing music video game of all time. Fuck you, Rock Band. Fuck you, everything else. Guitar Hero 3 was the peak. In 2007, they got over $1 billion in the first year.
Jesus, that's a lot in 2007.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Guitar Hero Rock Band just totally passed me by. Not something I was ever really interested in. Couldn't do the rhythm stuff. Everyone played it at other houses and parties and stuff, and I was like, I just can't do this.
Matt, where Josh loves music, Matt is a famously hater of all things musical.
Yeah. Other fun fact, Harmonix, I believe, is owned by Epic now, so I don't know what we're ever gonna see from Harmonix next, but they're part of Epic. So maybe put Guitar Hero in Fortnite. Let's do it. All right. 83. We have Mega Man X. The silence is deafening. Mega Man, another series like Doom, where I admire it, just not for me. It's one of those things where it's like a really difficult game series purposely, and I love the idea of it, but I just don't think I would ever enjoy it too much. I would get too frustrated.
Is this how you'd break up with Mega Man? I love the idea of us. But.
Yeah.
Something cool I thought about Mega Man, which is neat, is Mega Man X was actually the game where they introduced Zero. It was like who became like a major. I was always like, who the fuck is the Zero, Mega Man Zero? But it was a secret boss in Mega Man X. And then it was going to be a playable character, and they had to like scrap it due to development crunch. And people fucking loved this character so much. And the rumors came out that they ended up making like a whole spin-off series for this character, which was kind of wild.
Fun fact.
It's fun.
82. We have The Sims 3.
It's a good Sims game.
I mean, Rachel didn't give me any prepared thoughts on this, but I just want to say thank you to the crowd for making Sims 3 so high, and that it is the top Sims game on our list, which is great to see. Fuck you, Sims 4. But yeah, it's a great game. It's got good bones to it. Sims 4 jumped the fucking carp, and man, like, I mean, EA really knows it. See, Sims 4 was when EA realized they could sell expansion packs for the whole game. Like, it's like, hey, you want your guy to walk? You want your guy to have a job? Expansion pack. Yeah. But fun fact is actually The Sims 3 holds the Guinness World Record for most expansion packs released for a single video game. Throughout its lifespan, The Sims 3 had 11 expansion packs and also tons of DLC.
Interesting. I wonder how they're counting that, because like something like Train Sim has like 250.
I think they're counting like specific these are 11 expansions, and then they also had DLC.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't think I ever played Sims 3. I played Sims on PC way back in the day. I still have the CD.
Sure.
I guess I maybe played Sims 2, but it fell off for me pretty quickly. But I really love the original game.
Yeah, it fell off for me too when I made my sim work out, and then I felt bad that I wasn't working out, and then I just stopped playing. I was like, this is just making me feel bad.
All right, number 81, we have Pikmin 2. My wife loves Pikmin games. They do nothing for me.
Yeah, not much for me. I will say that it is the first game, Nintendo game rather, to receive a perfect score from Famitsu, the big Japanese gaming magazine. Perfect 40 out of 40.
Very nice.
Never happened.
All right, number 80, we have Super Mario Sunshine. I think, maybe aside from Odyssey, the most creative Mario game of all time. Just a really well done game. I know it's like really divisive. There are a lot of people who are like, Mario Sunshine, not a real Mario game. Other people really love it. I think it's a genuinely good game.
I always called this one the demo Super Mario game for me. Yeah. Not because it's bad, but because I would always play the demos at every single GameStop or Walmart. And then I always wanted to like get it and play it, but like I was just a PlayStation Andy, and my parents were like, you have a console, you can't get this shit. And I was always envious. I still haven't played it since. I have it on the Switch, but it's always loomed to me as like one I'd like. Because like you said, it reminds me of Odyssey and its uniqueness. It's weird. It's a really weird game.
Dude, I never got to play Mario Sunshine ever, and I'm really disappointed about it. I had a GameCube.
You would love it, dude.
I loved Super Mario 64. Like, it was my favorite. It was my first console game. And yeah, I think I would have loved Sunshine, but I don't know now if it would hit the same way, but I wish I'd played it back in the day.
I don't know. It's like the quintessential summertime game. It's just so good for that. So I don't know if it would hit the same.
Aren't out.
Yeah, that's true.
They couldn't render those. Fun fact about this game, by the way, it was originally going to be a multiplayer game. Whoa. They were developing a multiplayer Mario, and everyone was going to work together using these fucking packs and doing shit. And then they didn't have enough development time. They had to get something out for GameCube, so they scrapped it and went full single player, which is kind of interesting. That would have been interesting to have like a multiplayer Mario like RPG that early in like the development.
Probably for the best.
Absolutely.
Number 79. Half-Life Alyx. Game that I really want to play as long as it comes to PSVR 2.
Hell yeah.
Mike, have you played Alyx?
Yeah, I have. It's good, and I quit when I got to the head crabs because I don't want that shit in VR.
Understandable.
To be fair.
Understandable. I think this was from Ross's list. Ross is really high on Half-Life Alyx. Number 78, we have our highest scoring Grand Theft Auto game, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And I gotta be honest, it's like the one that I didn't really play. I played 3, I played a little bit of 4, played 5. I guess I didn't really play much Vice City either, but yeah, San Andreas just totally missed me.
Yep, I didn't play much either.
This is the only one I like. This is the one I have all the hours in, which isn't even that many, but like sleepovers, shit like that. We would play San Andreas trade off every time we'd fucking die. I don't know anything about, is there a story? Are there characters? I don't know. We would just go to the strip club and we would like get like 8 helicopters on us and fucking try to swim and do weird shit. And it was a blast. San Andreas was killer for that. It was definitely my like fix for Grand Theft Auto, and also like my kind of threshold for like, my mom will never, like, if I can't play this in my house, like, and my mom fucking walks in and I'm at the strip club, so I was like, there's no point.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool feature how the character, what was his name? It's like on the tip of my tongue.
No clue.
Oh, what is his name? CJ. Right.
Oh yeah.
I like how CJ could like kind of get fat, go to the gym, he could work out, like you could actually get muscle mass and stuff. That was cool. It was a cool feature.
That was cool. I will say also, something that I thought was neat and I forgot about is San Andreas actually has the largest map in any Grand Theft Auto game, still to this day, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Obviously not nearly as fucking detailed or interesting as like a GTA 5, but it is wild that it's huge.
All right, number 77, we have Diablo 3. And in a couple weeks here, a week and a half, we have Diablo 4 coming out. So I almost wonder if we did this list in like 2 months, what it would look like. But
very different.
Diablo 3 is right here at 77.
I mean, it's not a bad game. It's just a weird Diablo game. From what I've seen, I like it. It's fun. It's not on my list, but I mean, I'm not going to give anyone too much shit for it being on theirs because it's fun enough arcadey bullshit. It's, the story is complete and utter, just absolute dog shit. But other than that, it's a good time.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most successful PC games of all time. So people clearly like Diablo 3. It's just, it wasn't what a lot of people wanted.
I think it's like what Mike was saying about the trash TV Hell's Kitchen thing. I think that's what a lot of people liked about Diablo 3 eventually, after the people who either got into it and didn't care about 2 or got over the 2 pain, was that it was like kind of fun to just grind and like turn your brain off and like loot by like what am I trying to say here? Like looter shooter kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was that vibe. Number go up. And so I think a lot of people liked that. But yeah, like you were saying, Matt, yeah, it was actually the fastest selling PC game of all time when it came out. It was they sold within a day, it sold 3.5 million copies, which is pretty wild.
Ish.
Am I insane that the real money auction house is kind of a cool idea in theory?
I didn't hate it completely in theory. I also thought it was just kind of goofy in a Diablo game. Like of all the games you chose Diablo, where loot changes in a like millisecond. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah. I think there's something there, but you're right. Maybe not for a Diablo game. Number 76, Dark Souls.
I mean, it's not on my list, but clearly I'm playing through it. Shout out to Southern Fried Groofs. I mean, I really, really like Dark Souls. There are parts that are really bad, looking at you, Bed of Chaos, and that whole section of the game. But there's parts that are really fucking good. Sin's Fortress is some of my favorite shit I have done in any Dark Souls. It's so well designed. You can see how it affected their level design in Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3. I do love Dark Souls. You can tell it laid the foundation for just Dark Souls. Just, I know Demon Souls came out first, but just Dark Souls in general to me did such a great job of just kind of being like, this is what this game is and this is what you're going to be getting from now on for us. And I just really, really enjoyed it. I'm close to beating it at this point. Spoiler alert. So
whoa,
I'm excited to see what the end of it looks like. It's a really good time.
Very nice.
So are our fans.
Have you played Demon's Souls? I can't remember.
I've played about an hour and a half of it. It's newer and nice and pretty. Dark Souls still plays better though.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted to get into Dark Souls. Maybe one day. I'm more interested in the PS5 like Demon Souls remake. That seems so cool to me. I don't know. I like the Demon Souls vibe.
If you get a PS5 and you have PS Plus, you can just play Demon Souls.
Yep.
Well, la-di-da.
All right.
If you get Xbox, you can play Avowed.
Yeah. Someday. Maybe. We think.
You can play all these games within 12 months.
I don't know if it exists. All right, number 75. We're making our way. Forza Horizon 2. I can only imagine who put this on their list. Paul, tell us about Forza Horizon 2.
Dude, fuck yeah. This game is my shit. Like, I saw there's some other Forza Horizons on this list. It happens. It's a thing. It's not the newest. It's not the best. But I think Horizon 2 is special in that it was the first of its kind. Horizon was really an experimental game. You know, it was a bit more city action. It was a smaller map. It was a little bit more, they didn't have their footing in what they were doing. Horizon 2 was just this absolute trailblazer where they went, here is the countryside of Europe, go fucking crazy, drive around, fuck around. There's car races everywhere, and it's just open. And it was just beautiful, amazing. It felt so good. I will say one thing I liked about Horizon 2 as well was that you could there was a lot less customizability, which was nice. Whereas like in the later ones, you could use any car for any race and like change the way the race laid out. And that's part of what I hated. I liked that they're like 2 was so simple. It's like, oh, okay, the next circuit I have to do is all Jeeps. So I'll get my Jeep out. And then the next ones are all supercars. I didn't like that I could just play the whole game just driving a fucking Jeep or something and never have to change my car later. So anyway, Horizon 2, fucking awesome. Every other Horizon is just Horizon 2 remixed, basically. And I just have such good memories of like watching the Wonder Years on Netflix and for the first time, which recommend, and playing Horizon 2 and just zoning the fuck out and maybe listening to some drum and bass and just having a blast. I love this game.
All right, number 74, we have Hogwarts Legacy, which was number 1 on my wife's list, which is why it is so far up here at 74. We're starting to get into some people's number 1s, so yeah, that's where we're going to be going here in the territory. But Hogwarts Legacy, I think, is a legitimately really good game, but I still haven't beat it yet. I don't know if I'm going back to it or not. It's one of those things. It sort of had the Assassin's Creed Valhalla syndrome to me, where I thought it looked really cool visually. There was a lot of really good stuff to it, but it started to get a little bit repetitive and it was going on a little bit too long. But I do think it's a really good game, and I think a sequel could be really impressive.
Yeah, I'll be quick about it because you basically summed it up. The open world got old quick for me. It was too big. And I mean, the combat was so fucking neat. It was cool as hell. They nailed wand combat, which at baseline just seems kind of lame, but like they like nailed it, and it's cool and impactful. But it wasn't enough to keep it up for me either, which is a shame because it's one of the best built worlds as far as like true to Hogwarts that I've seen in a minute.
That's the problem, I think, is the castle is so good. It's one of the most detailed games I've ever seen. But as soon as you leave that, it just becomes... And Hogsmeade's really cool too, but as soon as you leave those areas, it becomes fairly uninteresting.
It just becomes England.
It's almost like an exploration sim, sort of, with like a mix of like...
like a walking sim.
Yeah, with like a completionist collectathon vibe as well. And those are just 2 things that I just have no interest in. So like that was what really turned me off. I wanted more like smaller and more stuff. And I feel like the stuff was like, find a hidden chest, and I just don't care. But I get it. I know a lot of people are really hyped.
It actually has some of the most low effort collectibles I've ever seen in a recent game. Like the landing pads. It's like, why did you even include this? It's just you're landing certain spots around the world. It's very weird. All right, number 73, we have Pokemon Platinum. Mike, have you played Pokemon Platinum?
I sure hope so, because it was on my list.
Oh, it was your list. Okay, I couldn't remember if it was from you or from Ross or someone.
No, it's mine. I think it's easily the best Pokemon game in the series.
Wow, I can buy that.
It's well-rounded. It's got endgame. It's got a solid storyline. It's got the hardest boss fight in any Pokemon game ever, with the slappiest theme for a boss fight ever. No, it's great. I love Platinum. Platinum is top tier. If anyone says otherwise, I'll fight you.
Oh, all right. Well, very good. I think I played some of Platinum, but that was also during the period of time like the DS Pokemon games was when I sort of dropped off a little bit, and I eventually came back and played some of them. Like I played Pearl. Was Platinum?
Platinum was the Ultra version of Pearl. Yeah.
That's what. So I never played Platinum then. I played Pearl.
Same.
And played a little bit of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, but other than that, not a lot of DS action going on. But good games. As far as I know, a lot of those Pokemon games were really good. 72, I think this is another game from Mike's list. We have Disco Elysium.
It is, yes. It's a really fucking good game. It's a shame what happened to the developers.
Yeah.
But that's really well written up until...
Don't spoil it.
I had to stop because... I'm not spoiling anything. I had to stop because I got soft locked.
Oh.
And I didn't want to go back and try to fix it. But the story is great. Like, it's one of the few games that has had me play nonstop just to see what happens in the story. And I enjoy the fact that you can, like, I don't know, the way that you can make Harry as your character. There's so many options that you can go down. And a lot of them are just fucking stupid and ridiculous. And the voice in your head tells you so. And it's got good humor. It's got good character development, character arcs. For me, I went the oh god, I am a waste of a police officer route. I'm washed up. How could I be such a terrible human being? But actually, I'm really good as a detective. And every time that Kim tells me that, I'm just like, thanks. I appreciate. But no, it's very, very good. Very, very good. Especially with the fully voice acted version.
Was it called the Final Cut?
Final Cut, yeah. I was actually going to say that was one of the cool, that was the fact I had about this one, was they actually recorded all the voice lines with everyone in the same room as opposed to like everyone recording separately. So it like really apparently lends to like more cohesive vibes. Like people are actually talking to each other, which I fucking love when shit does that, when people do that.
At this point, I think it's one of those games that have just passed me by. I don't know if I'll be going back.
It hasn't aged at all. I think you can easily play it.
Number 71, we have the most recent newcomer. We have The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
I think it's fucking wild that this is already on a top 100 list. I mean, you know, it's obviously from people that have played it or whatever up to this point out of our list and they like it. And I will say, it's going to be on the water cooler, which, if you can believe it, is happening in this episode. I just think that, I don't know, man. It's been pretty fun. And I didn't like Breath of the Wild. I've just been able to do goofy, silly... Okay, let me just put it like this. I have no imagination, no creativity beyond whatever my sense of humor supplies me with. And that does not go into video games very well, as it turns out. Being a fucking idiot doesn't lead well to video games. That all said, my God, Tears of the Kingdom's goofy fun. You can do dumb shit. They just let you huck bombs around like a lunatic. You can build 4-foot dicks and fly around the sky with them. It is a blast. I can understand why people like it so much. It's better than Breath of the Wild. I'll say that right now. I mean, it's better. Like it's gotta be. I mean, I'm enjoying it more. It's gotta be.
Yeah, I think if we did this list in 2 or 3 months, it would have swapped spots with Breath of the Wild.
I think so.
Number 70, we have Skate 3. And I have nothing to say on this game other than I'm happy for you, Derek.
We love you, Derek.
Skate 3 is amazing.
I don't
fucking good.
Not believe that. I mean, I totally believe it's a great game.
I'm upset with Derek that it's not higher on his list.
Oh,
it's the last skateboard game I've played, and also probably the best.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
To give you an idea, Matt, they have a thing called the Hall of Meat, where you can just where you can just crash so fucking bad, and you get points for how bad you injure yourself.
Oh, that's like the old Burnout Crash mode.
Yeah.
I fucking loved Burnout Crash mode.
It's one of the best parts of Skate.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Seeing how I can break my neck from a 300-foot fall.
That's awesome.
I wonder how.
I had one, and the fact that like it had an onboard, like if something happened, you could quickly, I know it's like it's very common now, but you could, back when it came out, you could replay and capture it, like record the last 10 seconds. Oh my God. Some of the sounds of like your head hitting like a metal fence pole. Oof.
Nice, dude. We need more of those modes.
Crunchy.
Games. All right, number 69. Nice. We have Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
It's good Assassin's Creed. It's probably the best Assassin's Creed because there's so little assassination in it. It's all boats. I mean, honestly, it's so good. I mean, just being a pirate and just like running into Blackbeard and shit is just cool as fuck. I loved that shit. I don't even know how much time I put into it. Honestly, Edward Kenway was probably one of the most coolest people we've had since Ezio. You know, because you get Connor right in the middle there, who's as dull as wood with Assassin's Creed 3, and then you go into Kenway, who's just a fucking psychopath that rides boats and boards British ships and shit. It's just so fun. It's ridiculous fun.
Yeah, I was the first Call of Duty, I'm reading the wrong shit. But it was the first Assassin's Creed that I probably like actually put some time into. It didn't click with me as much as I wanted it to, but I have a lot of respect for it. I know it's kind of a black sheep, so to say. Also, interestingly enough, they actually recorded real life cannons being fired at sea to make it sound like that in the game. And they worked with a group called Master and Commander to make sure it's authentic.
Assassin's Creed 4's longest lasting legacy is going to be Skull and Bones. What it eventually would become.
It probably will be.
Yes. It's the proto Sea of Thieves, of course.
Yeah. No, this is a game that I tried, but I think I tried it too long after it had already been out and
same.
Just couldn't get into it. And I know that's like sacrilege, but
it hasn't aged well for what it's worth. I don't think so.
All right, number 68, we have Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Is Call of Duty Black Ops 1, but with better guns and slightly more interesting like equipment. It's just like not a whole lot to write home about, to be honest. It's a good Call of Duty game. It's a good Black Ops game. I'm not going to shit on it, but it's just more Black Ops. It didn't differentiate itself too much like 3 did, in my opinion.
I feel like at the time it was like one of the biggest fucking deals. Like it was
like
a
big deal.
It was at the time, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Number 67, we have Hunt Showdown. I don't know whose list this was on.
This is from Evan. 100% this is from Evac.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
Okay.
He plays the fuck out of it. I don't know anything about it, but he plays the fuck out of it.
The only thing I know about Hunt Showdown, which I looked up, which I thought was so interesting, you can only use proximity chat.
Yeah.
To make it more realistic. And you can also like do like hand gestures and shit to like kind of like gesture to people. That is so fucking awesome. I love shit like that. It's
a cool game. I've played very little of it. It's difficult. I played with Mike a little bit and it's fun. It's a Tarkov-esque extraction game and it's hardcore.
Every time that I play it, I feel like I would just prefer to play Tarkov is my issue.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. All right, number 66, we have Star Fox 64. And I ask you, do a barrel roll, please. My only memory of this game is no one had fucking anything.
Name me the character who says that, by the way.
It's the frog, I think.
Slippy? I think it is.
I don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
Do a barrel roll. Whoever sounds like that.
I don't know.
No, I don't think frog, it isn't. I think it's Falco or someone. It's not Slippy because Slippy talks like this.
I think it's the rabbit. The frog sounds more like a femboy.
Okay.
It is. You're right.
My only memory of this game is I was with a friend. We were really young. We were kids. We were going to like some restaurant with my friend's family. We were in his family minivan, and he fucking somehow had an N64 rigged up in the minivan.
Oh, I knew kids who fucking had. It's bullshit.
It was
These
so
rich
cool.
Little fuckers.
He wasn't even rich. I don't know how he did it. It was awesome.
He was rich.
He might have been. They might have had some money.
That or his parents were in very intense credit card debt.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, that could have been it, honestly. But it was really fucking cool. That's my only memory of this game.
Yeah, I never played it. I only knew Fox from Smash Bros, and then I always thought I'd want to play this, but it didn't look appealing to me.
Number 65. This is from Ross's list, and honestly, I'm kind of interested in maybe trying this game out. Devil May Cry 5.
I'm surprised I haven't played this.
Have fun, Matt.
Well, I'm interested because the combat director had a huge influence. Well, he was not just an influence, but he was part of the team for Final Fantasy 16, which is coming out soon. So Devil May Cry has a large influence on the combat in Final Fantasy 16.
I will say I actually really like Devil May Cry combat a lot. I find it really satisfying. The game is so fucking like I can't stand the dialogue and the characters. They actually specifically employed a brand new technology called strand-based hair physics just to make sure Nero's hair was exactly how they wanted it to be.
So it's a strand game.
So that's what they give a shit about. It's a strand type game. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm in the other fence. I like the cringe dialogue. I can't stand the fucking combat.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Devil May Cry combat is actual trash.
Whoa.
Is it just like too is it just like too spammy for you? I've never played one, so I'm more curious. Like, is it more too spammy, or is it just like over the top ridiculous bullshit?
You're doing over the top ridiculous bullshit, and you tickled the enemy.
That's the problem that people have.
Okay,
yeah,
fair.
The bullet sponge.
It's the same problem that I have with Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that part.
It was the same issue that I had with Forspoken. If I'm doing big attacks, I gotta feel an impact other than you did 16 damage. Nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Devil May Cry is less of a combat game and more of a rhythm game. The whole point is to hit your combos and not get hit. But yeah, I don't know. The combat's just not for me.
What I'm really hoping is Final Fantasy 16 took the flashiness and like the spectacle of it and didn't take the combo part or the fucking sponge part.
I mean, I've seen a mini boss fight and I was like, this looks like it'll take 15 minutes to kill, and you're doing a lot to do a very little amount of damage. So
a lot of numbers going up on screen.
Yeah, that was my issue with 15 too.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is a discussion for another time, but I don't understand why they fucking insist on this like futuristic UI and these like super like digital clock looking numbers in like a medieval fantasy game. I don't understand that.
Japan.
Yeah. All right, number 64. We have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Legendary game. Absolutely legendary video game.
I only played the second one. That's all I can say. I didn't play the first.
I will say the interesting fact I had about this game, because I never played it either, really. I mean, I think I rented it once on N64, but what I was going to say was they actually wanted to do like full professional mocap for the whole thing to make it look really realistic, and they could not afford it at all.
Oh, shit.
So they actually set up a makeshift mocap in their office, and they used like a tiny ramp and a camera capture, and they tried to all create it like in an office with mocap, like really janky, and that's how they managed to do all their mocap.
That's awesome.
I thought that was really, really rad.
That's pretty resourceful.
What's crazy is obviously Tony Hawk, like you talk about like maybe the greatest skateboarder of all time, but the video game series is what made him filthy fucking rich.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's crazy. Like his actual profession wasn't necessarily it. It was the name, the likeness being used.
Is that true? That's like a lot of the money?
Oh yeah,
for him?
For sure.
Yeah, that's wild. That's fucking crazy.
Gamers rise up.
Yeah, hell yeah,
Tony
dude.
Hawk needs to buy a Porsche.
Well, not only did it put his name on an incredibly well-selling video game series, but it also made people much more aware of who he was in the early 2000s.
And they could have released a stinker too, just with his name, and they just like released a banger. So it's like, damn, at least with the second one, at least.
Yep. And that's a big part of his documentary that's on, I think, HBO or Netflix, one of the two, is talking about how like he didn't know if it was something that he wanted to do, and he decided to make the deal with Activision, and it basically made him filthy rich. All right, number 63, Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, I mean, it was cool. I think the big thing about Forza Horizon 4 that made it so rad was the seasons. I think that was a big deal, and they synchronized it like across like everyone too. So like you'd all experience seasons at similar times, which is really cool. So I mean, shit like that's amazing. They put like dynamic weather in Forza Horizon 2, which was huge. Seasons is cool. Again, just pushing the boundaries of technology. Also, I think 4 was in England, I believe, which was kind of the big deal.
So.
It was just like the whole of the UK, basically.
It was the UK, and it was cool because that's like where all their studios were, so they were able to really like it was like kind of a passion project for them, especially like on top of the game already being. So yeah, I think it was cool. I was also like we had it for a long time because of COVID. I think like it ended up lasting a bit. So it was one of the longer cycles, I think, for Forzas. So I think that a lot of people have a lot of love for it because of that, and like kind of being there at the new console gen. But I mean, it was all right. I kind of fell off by this point, personally.
I fell off a little bit with it too. I enjoy, it's probably my favorite Forza Horizon game to this point, but I tend to agree. It just kind of fell off for me, but it was fun. I mean, the driving and location honestly was probably the biggest thing for me. I don't like the location in Forza 5, and I just think that the UK served it so well with all its unique seasons. It was just so fun to just like drive. Like there were times I weren't even doing races. I was just exploring around the entirety of the country, just having a blast.
Yeah.
Josh, you don't like the location of Forza Horizon 5? Why don't you just say build the wall?
Jesus Christ.
Josh, getting canceled today.
Number 62, we have Factorio. Mike, tell us about this game.
It wasn't on my list.
I know it wasn't on your list, but this is some nerdy shit that I'm sure you've played.
Wow. I've only played it literally this year because I didn't own it before then. It's a really well-received 2D factory-making defense game. It's good. I don't know what else to say because I literally haven't played this game more than 36 minutes.
Also worth noting, it's a solo dev, which is pretty cool.
Is it
Yes.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for them.
I don't like being singled out like this. I'm being
Well,
typecast.
Yeah, you are.
When we get to Ooblets, Mike, we'll call you. Otherwise, we won't bother.
Listen,
We'll leave you alone.
if Ooblets was on Steam, I'd be playing it, but it's not, so
What
I'm
did I
not.
fucking tell you? All right, number 61, Dragon Quest 8. This was a shocking one on someone's list. I don't remember whose list it was, but yeah.
I don't know. When it came out, it got the Guinness World Record for the most voice-acted characters in a video game. That's
cool.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
Polar opposite to Skyrim for the least voice acted characters.
They were all voice acted just by the same 10 people.
I feel like the Old Republic probably broke that record.
I'm sure.
All right, number 60, we have Undertale, a game that just like, I feel like I'm normally into like these weird kind of solo dev, just these strange games, and I have no interest in Undertale. But Josh, I know you've played. Mike, I know you've played.
I gave up.
I've played 2.
Oh,
I'll get mine out of the way because mine's less interesting. I'm bad at the combat that's offered, and I'm also just the music was great. The world was unique. It just never really super clicked with me. Not enough for me to push through it. I felt like a lot of the combat just felt like bullshit to me. But I accept that I'm probably in the minority on that.
Toby Fox wrote over 100 songs for Undertale.
that's a lot of songs.
Undertale is played by a lot of orchestras.
Yep. And a lot of weird, weeby, sad tweens.
Undertale was given as a gift to the Pope.
Oh,
Undertale
weird
is
gift.
the name of the location where dogs' buttholes.
All right, so number 59.
Deltarune is Undertale, but spelled differently.
No way, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, number 59, Paul, we have Life is Strange. Take it away.
That was me. That was on my list. I just fucking love Life is Strange. It's the only game I think it's probably the only game to make me like sob uncontrollably.
Wow.
Like I'll tear up at a lot of video games for sure. Like not a lot, but I mean like, if it's like a really intense plot point, I'll tear up, but I sobbed at the alternate future of fucking Chloe in Life is Strange. So yeah, shit's intense. Fucking love that shit. Lots of other games that they make are great. Other Life is Stranges are cool, but this one is the fucking GOAT. And
Yes.
yeah, the only other thing I was going to say is I just found this out. Initially, they were going to have Max's power be, instead of controlling time, controlling animals. She could possess animals.
Oh.
I'm much happier with the time thing. I think that worked better than pretending to be a squirrel and shitting everywhere.
Really good game. I like Life is Strange. I really do. It's weird how it feels like they really they never were able to capture that original magic with the other games.
You know why?
Why?
Not gay enough.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Was True Colors not gay enough?
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, True Colors, you could be gay for sure. More confirmedly than you could with Chloe. You could actually romance Steph. But Steph wasn't... Dude, just fucking Pricefield is such a good ship. Like, just give us more of this shit, man. Like, just more of these like reluctant, shy lesbian relationships. I don't know, man. It just works. Stick
I
to
don't
what
even
you
think
know.
it's that. I think it's the fact that like while you're playing it, you don't know if she is or isn't.
Yeah, I
Which
think
is
that's a big part.
more like identifiable
true,
with
yeah.
that age group is that you
Yes.
don't know because you don't know.
It's like
and you're
Max's
figuring
first
it
time
out.
like liking a girl, and it's her friend, and she doesn't know if she feels the
Yeah.
same way, and it's like it's very much
And
that
then-
feeling.
And
Yeah,
then you
that's a
got,
great point.
you know, Go Ape, who's trying to go
Fucking
ape.
Warren.
I love Warren. Warren's
Me
great. I
too.
love a lot
Me
of those
too.
characters, even
Me
like
too.
some of the side characters. The one girl who you can like save in every episode.
I forget her name, but yeah, I know what
I
you
forget
mean.
her name, but like I love her because it's just like she's a side character that you can either make sure that her day is going well or make sure her day is
Or
going
she
shit.
dies. Yeah.
But also like I will say with Life is Strange, it's almost like I don't know. The episode 5 or whatever the last episode was.
That was
I
the
think
last
it
one, yeah.
5. I was very turned off by the ending of it.
Got dark.
It's not even that it got dark. The choices matter thing really bugged me.
Oh,
It irked
Bay or
me.
Bay. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like everything comes down to one decision.
One decision doesn't matter what you did in the whole game.
Right,
Yeah.
and there is a
Yeah.
canon decision. So that's what bothers me in these sort of things.
And the
Yeah.
canon decision is the decision you that is probably like morally incorrect, but I don't care.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like the story that they had and the arc that they had, like I feel like it would have been perfectly fine as a not decision based game for the most part. Like
I agree.
if it was on rails and just you experience the entirety of episode 4 and 5 and then do my decision, what I did, which was
The wrong
not
decision.
morally incorrect.
Nah.
Gotta save the bay. Save
Gotta
save Arcadia Bay.
Save no, save your bay.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. If you I feel like that's such a good storytelling arc that it could just existed that way. But I understand that they want to make a Choices Matters game. Also, it's really fucked up that someone actually put real blood on her wall,
Yeah.
like in her
Yeah.
dorm room. It turns brown over the
Yeah.
episodes. Like that's
real
blood.
blood. Yeah.
Like it starts off red and it turns brown. It's not paint. I'm like, did no one report this?
Yeah.
By the way, spoilers for Life is Strange.
Big
It's
time. Big
been
spoiler.
out
an old
for a
game.
while.
Yeah.
All right, number 58. We
Jesus
have Pokemon
Christ.
Gold and Silver. This was on my list. I was not the only one, I don't think, to have this on their list. For me, I know Mike said here's one thing that I did struggle with. I struggled with either putting Gold and Silver or Heart Gold and Soul Silver on my list.
Yeah.
Because Heart Gold and Soul Silver is the same game but better. It's a remake. And it's basically like, you know, Leaf Green, Fire Red. It is basically the same game, just better. And my thing was it came down to the fact that I just played Silver and Gold so much more than I did the remakes. So that's what I had to go with. I think it is. I know Mike said Platinum is the best Pokemon game, and I'm not going to disagree with that. I think that's definitely possible. But for me, Pokemon Gold and Silver is quintessential Pokemon and my favorite game. Although Heart Gold and Soul Silver is probably my favorite, but Silver and Gold is the one that I played the most.
I like Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I do not like Silver and Gold. Mainly because Silver and Gold was rushed and not finished correctly. Which is why I like Heart Gold and Soul Silver more. I won't tirade because I accept that people like Gold and Silver, and that's fine. But I have big issues with Gold and Silver. I've read a lot about the development process and why it is the way it is. But that being said, going back to Kanto is really fucking lit.
So cool. It's insane that it had the original games in the game. Like, it's so cool. All right, number 57, we have Mass Effect 3. I'm one of those weird people who have never played a Mass Effect game, but I know the three of you have, so let's hear it.
You should play Mass Effect. Play Mass Effect. Legendary Edition's out. Plays great. It's fantastic. I like Mass Effect 3. I had the unique opportunity when playing it to play it way after it like released, like probably 3 years after the release. So I didn't experience all the like turmoil and bullshit with the ending because I watched the original endings. It was bad. They shorted up enough for me to enjoy it. That on top of having all the DLC immediately made it way more palatable. I think my experience made it unique to make me want to put it a little higher on my list. I just enjoyed it. I thought it was a great conclusion. I thought it was fun. So long as you complete everything that you need to get a proper ending, it is satisfying, which is unfortunate that you have to do that. It's part of it, which is a damn shame, but I did it. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. The Citadel DLC in Mass Effect 3 to this day is one of my favorites. Nothing has fucked me up more, and all you do is just talk to people. Like, that's half the game is just jokes and talking to people. It makes you love and appreciate all the companions you've built up over all the time you played Mass Effect, and it just builds it up so incredibly well.
Yeah, that's what our buddy Spencer was the one who was one of the people who put this as like his top game on his list. I think 3 was his top Mass Effect. And he was saying like he knows that it will be controversial, but he likes the ending.
That's true. I always forget that like it's a beloved game, but yeah, the ending was very controversial.
It was bad and it didn't make sense.
All right,
That's
number
okay.
56. Number 56, we have Sonic Mania.
That was me.
I know.
Best 2D Sonic game.
Yep, pretty much. Nothing else to say.
All right.
Really good. Music's
Fair enough.
A+.
Fair enough. 55, we have BioShock Infinite. This was me. I don't know if it was on anyone else's list, but this was definitely on mine. It's the game that got me back into gaming. It's the game that, because I didn't originally play the original BioShock games and still haven't, and this whole week I've been like fighting with myself wanting to play a BioShock, but trying to just play a Jedi Survivor. But BioShock Infinite, the game that got me back into video games. It's the game that got me into learning about who Ken Levine was and learning a lot from him as far as writing goes and stuff like that. So even though I haven't played all of his games, he still is sort of like I don't want to say like an idol to me, but someone that I look up to as far as like writing goes. And so cool guy. I know he's probably not an easy guy to work for from what we've heard, but
Probably.
But Judas, I'm excited about it. BioShock Infinite, great game. I would recommend it to everyone. I think it's really good. All right, number 54, we have Donkey Kong Country 2. I don't think I've played this game.
I don't think I played it either. I'm kind of remiss that I never got to play Donkey Kong Country games. I think they all pretty much were SNES things. That was kind of a big sell for them, which I just never, ever played SNES. So I kind of missed out. I really wanted to get into Tropical Freeze when that came out because I know that was kind of like a return to form, but I kind of missed it. All I know about Donkey Kong Country 2 was that there was like a secret ending you could get if you did like fucking every 100% of the game, which is kind of cool for like SNES days.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country 2 fucking slapped.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, a lot of it's... I love the music in Donkey Kong Country 1, but 2 just has the perfect mixture of music and gameplay. I just think they nailed that nice little middle ground of being platformery and fun, but also having like some of the best soundtracks you've heard. I mean, Aquatic Ambience from Donkey Kong Country 1 is goated, but Sticker Bush Symphony from like Donkey Kong Country 2, absolute fucking banger. Like, if you played DKC 2 and you go up and look up that song, you'll know what I'm talking about. Shit slaps. Love it.
Those are some great polls. I may have played this game on Game Boy Advance or something like that, but I definitely played Donkey Kong Country 1. All right, 53, we have Final Fantasy VII, the original game, not the remake. This is a game I've never played, but having played Remake sort of makes me a little bit intrigued to go back and maybe try it out, but I don't know. Any of you, have you had any exposure to Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, it's I'm like trying to be very careful with what I say.
Can't describe it. It's so wonderful.
No, I don't want to say anything spoilery for Matt. It's iconic. It's iconic for good reasons. Storytelling, character development. The gameplay is fine. I mean, it's a JRPG. It doesn't really. I don't think for the time it really revolutionized the gameplay at all. It just was an incredible story that is iconic in gaming. Like, I'm surprised that I was talking to Josh about it, and he was talking about how like something got spoiled for him, and then he told me what it was. I'm just like, oh. And he's like, that's the only thing that got spoiled for me. I'm like, how have you not heard about anything else? So I'm surprised that people can still be not spoiled of Final Fantasy VII, because I feel like, I mean, I didn't really play it, but I know exactly what happens in the story, and I know, like, I can visualize cinematics from it having not played it at all. So, like, I remember what they look like.
I think it depends on the circles that you were in probably as a kid, because I didn't really know anyone that played Final Fantasy VII.
Neither did I.
Interesting. I did watch Advent Children at some point, but I don't remember it at all.
Yeah. Just you owe me a pizza.
There you go.
Oof.
Number 52, we have Ghost of Tsushima. I would recommend this game to everybody. I love Ghost of Tsushima. Fantastic game. One of the most beautiful games I've played. Not even just like from a realistic graphic standpoint, but just from like an artistry standpoint, just so good. I think when I was playing this, like 2 years ago at this point, a year ago, whatever it was, I was talking about how the forests actually feel very dense, which is something that you don't often get in video games. You probably get it in something like Red Dead 2, which is trying to be very true to life. But in Ghost of Tsushima, like the bamboo forest, the really dense forest that you get with like the thunderstorms, really good vibes. I love Ghost of Tsushima, and I would recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, I remember seeing the original E3 stuff for this game and just being blown away. Like Rachel, who isn't even like particularly into like AAA, well, I mean more so now, but especially at the time playing like AAA RPGs, was like just like, whoa, like we need to get this when it comes out. Never did, but it is on the backlog list forever because it just looks incredible. It's like this amazing painterly style mixed with like photorealism. Like, get the fuck out of here! What?
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, number 51, we have Fallout 4.
Mamma mia! This was my second favorite Fallout game. New Vegas was my
76
first.
being the top, right?
Yeah, definitely. I am a famous masochist.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know Fallout 4 is not everybody's cup of tea. I personally just thought the wonderful world that they built, mixed with all of the nice little camps and like supply lines I could build. I'll admit they're not very Fallout, but I enjoyed the fuck out of them regardless. It also has my favorite DLC in any game, like rivaling maybe Mass Effect 3 with Far Harbor. I thought Far Harbor was just fantastic, minus like one small part of the game where you have to do some bullshit puzzles that are horrible. But other than that, Fallout 4 is cash. I love that shit. It is a Todd Howard Bethesda game where he just went hog wild with what his ideas were, and you can tell he did, but fuck it. For whatever reason, I don't mind that, and I had a goddamn blast with it. Voiced protagonist and all.
I just want to say I also fucking really liked Fallout 4, and I think voice protag was a huge sell for me, actually. As much as I do love Fallout 3 a lot, actually, and Fallout New Vegas, but I do have I played the most Fallout 3 probably in my time, but yeah, I really like the voice protag. I think it's cool to have a game with that option when I just want to like chill on the couch and like not fucking even read anything. It has kind of like a more kickback vibe, which I know isn't what Fallout is supposed to be, but like, I don't know. I think it was fun. As long as they like maybe go back to the roots the next one, I'm fine with it. But I thought it was cool.
I don't mind voice protag. I do mind lack of choice in my options. But yeah, it's Fallout 4. It's not my favorite. It's not the worst Fallout game.
It's not the best though. I will happily attest that I am it's not your favorite, but fuck it. For whatever reason it clicked.
It's one of those push and pull tug of war things where voice protag, awesome. We're going to have less choices. Less choices for dialogue because it's going to be really fucking expensive.
You won't be nice. You won't be mean. Won't be sarcastic.
Yeah.
Want to sell products.
You can do all that, but it has to be yes.
I I do really like the mod where it just shows you everything that you're going to say in a thing, so you don't accidentally pick
Yeah.
something that fucking
That's nice, yeah.
like kills someone.
Them making it vague was goofy as shit.
Yeah,
It was so stupid. It's like, what? Is more words gonna cost you more money to make the game? Like, no.
people
Put
don't
the
want,
words on the
people
screen.
don't want read.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the selection was like yes, and then you'd say yes, but also murder your family.
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's not what I chose, but okay.
All right, number 50. I feel like this is a really appropriate spot for this game.
Yep.
Minecraft.
It's great. It's Minecraft.
it's fucking great. It launched. I think it kind of launched Let's Plays a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, like a certain version of them. It was a turning point for me as like a young like it was a. I remember I have a flashball moment of playing the first week I played Minecraft, and it like blew my mind. I put like fucking 60 hours into that shit at least. I went outside and all the buildings look like fucking Minecraft. You know, it's Minecraft. I mean, it's so good, but it's also like it's Minecraft. It is what it is. 50 is perfect. Matt, you're so right.
It's pure genius because so many, not generations, but like sub generations have played this game. Like the kids nowadays, like young kids who are like 6, 7, 8 years old, they like Minecraft. And the kids who are like in their early 20s who grew up on Minecraft also loved Minecraft. It's crazy that it has spanned so far within like across 2 generations. It's wild.
It's so weird how, since like, you know, I'm almost fucking 30, like I almost feel nostalgic for them. Like I can understand like the music, the vibes, the exploration. I can understand entirely why an 8 to 12-year-old would have been fucking just enraptured by this shit.
Yeah.
Like they would have just like, this is just Legos in just an open world that you can do whatever. And it releasing on Xbox just shot it up to the stratosphere. Minecraft isn't, you know, anywhere near my top 20, but I mean, it's warranted for sure.
On phones and iPad too. I think that was a gateway drug for a lot of kids too. All right, number 49, we have Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. This was a Dre entry here, and an entry. And I have nothing to say about this game other than I'm glad that it exists, but this is a unique entry within the top 50.
Yeah, like I love Mario RPGs. Like I played a lot of like Paper Mario as a kid, and that was my fucking jam. But I never played this one, so I don't know. Sure, it's great.
I played it. It's really good. Like, got really good humor. I think you could probably thank it for the existence of like Paper Mario. Like, I don't think without this game, Paper Mario exists. So, no, it's a really good RPG. It's very JRPG. It's like it's basically Paper Mario, but not paper, and also really funny.
And you can thank it for Mario and Luigi's Superstar Saga, which is a beloved game too. I mean, that wouldn't exist without this either.
Yeah.
All right, 48. We have Sonic Adventure.
Motherfucking Big the Cat, baby.
Was this on multiple lists? This was on your list, Paul?
This was not on my list.
Oh, wow.
Sonic Adventure 2, which is coming up soon, is on my list, but Sonic Adventure, not on my list. Is that a Mike list?
No, it's a Ross list.
Oh, Ross. Well, I appreciate it. I was not a huge... I played Sonic Adventure after playing Sonic Adventure 2, so for me, it was kind of... I put like DRX Director's Cut, like the GameCube one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me too.
It was like fine, but it felt unrefined compared to 2. I liked like the overworld kind of open world stuff was cool, but it also was like jank as fuck and felt weird. So I don't know. It was fine, but it was hard to play after 2.
I'm a big The Cat fan, but
yeah.
I do prefer 2 over this one. And
sorry, you're a big
fan
fan of The Cat, or you're a big The Cat fan?
I'm big The Cat fan.
Sorry, you're a big fan of The Cat?
Yes.
Thank you.
When he appeared in Sonic Frontiers, I was overjoyed. It was great.
Yeah.
So happy that I got to go fishing with Big.
Matt's grimacing right now, just hearing these words.
he hates everything that I'm saying. It's fine.
All right, number 47, we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, which I think is objectively the best Tony Hawk game, probably. It's just so good, dude.
Better than Thug?
Yeah, yeah, better than Thug.
It is. It's go to with the sauce. I remember like just collecting all the letters
Yeah.
and getting all of the different skateboarders who are like, I know who these people are. I didn't have a fucking clue who they were. But it was just so much fun.
Spider-Man. He was in this game.
Yes.
That's right. Oh my God. You could be
Yeah.
Spider. You could go to Tokyo and like do like 1,000 flips.
Oh, Tokyo.
God
dude.
damn. This game was just like childlike wonder in a like skateboard game. You could like
Yeah.
break all your limbs without actually having to break them.
Such a good game.
You kind of make me
Such a
want
good
to play the remaster or the remake.
A
It
little
sounds-
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I still ain't played it, surprisingly. I thought I would have at this point.
All right, so we're coming up to what we just noticed as an error at number 46. We have Dark Souls again. So, like the original Dark Souls. So, here's what I want to let everyone know. If we combine the points of Dark Souls, which is at number 76, and the Dark Souls that is at 46, it would be number 23 on the list. So, there you go. It would be number 23, so it would be in the top 25. So, there you go. And because of that, I'm also going to include what would have been the new 100. So just imagine all the numbers that we're going to go through. Just imagine that they would actually be off by one. But the new 100, I'll quickly mention it, would have been StarCraft 2. So StarCraft 2,
All right.
welcome to the top 100.
Valid.
Super fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, now Minecraft is 49.
Fuck!
You know what's nice though? StarCraft 64 is now 64. I noticed it was one off.
Thank you. All right. Number 45. We have Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
What, rinse, repeat, copy,
Yeah.
paste.
The remakes,
Better version.
the better version. I think objectively the better version. It's
Yeah.
just, whether or not you have a certain nostalgia for the originals. 44, Sonic Adventure 2.
Dude, fucking let's go. Mike, I assume this is on your list?
Yeah,
It was on mine
Yeah.
too. Fuck yeah.
it's great. It's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
Who thought you were gonna get two games in one and then a true ending? Like, oh my god, in a
Yeah.
Sonic game? Who would have done that?
Heroes, villains. Don't forget the fucking Chow Garden, which holy shit.
Garden.
Like I spent more time in the Chow Garden than I did playing any other part of that game. And I played through the whole game, but like Chow Garden, dude, that is endless replayability. And it's adorable. Dude, fuck it. Also, when Tails, like you're always in the robot suit, but then when you're in the Chow Garden, you can do the flying with the spinny tail thing, classic Tails. That was felt so freeing to be able to do that. Oh man, just a great game. Overall, a banger. I will say, like, I have
Yeah.
not like played a lot of Sonic games since then, so I will say like it's not like I'm a big Sonic game player, but I have a lifetime respect and love for Sonic because of how much I fucking love this game.
Absolutely.
All right. 43, we have The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, the famed GameCube game, or Wii game, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Never played it. I never played it.
Me neither.
It's got Midna in it. You turn into a wolf.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
turn into
it's
the
the
wolf.
wolf
I knew
one.
that. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all I know. And
All right.
that was like a weird period where like we take, wholesome kids characters and turn them into animals, like
Yeah.
Sonic Unleashed. Yeah. I'm just like, why?
Did Mario?
Why
Well,
not?
Mario now is turning into T-Rexes and shit. So
Yeah,
They're a
but
little-
Mario always had
Nintendo
cat suit.
classically late to the party
Yeah.
here. Catsuit, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more of a fetish thing though. It's not like a full animal change.
Like the reaction that I saw to the Mario movie of when the fuck does he get a cat suit? That's not canon. This is you're trying to make kids into furries. And it's like no, he's always had a cat
I
suit.
mean, yeah, they are, but they've been doing it for a decade.
Oh, we've got Tanuki. Mario.
Yeah, Tanuka Mario.
yeah.
All right, 42.
Jackie Robinson, famously.
Very true.
Yeah, 42. True,
Yeah.
yeah. We have Halo 2. I think my first ever collector's edition for a game.
Nerd.
Yeah. The Steelbook, dude.
Hell yeah. Did you steal it?
Yeah. No, I didn't. I paid full price.
Thank
on
God I would have
opening
called the
day.
police fucking now.
Yeah.
Statute of limitations be damned.
No, but I love Halo 2. This is very high up on my list. This Halo 2 is my personal favorite Halo game. Just the introduction of the dual wielding weapons, just Halo 2, man. So many hours spent in lockout playing rockets only or swords only. Just so much fun playing split screen Halo 2. Just amazing game.
That was cool.
All right.
Neato.
You got to fight scarabs. That was neat.
Yeah.
Energy sword. I will say the fucking campaign for Halo 2 is my favorite Halo campaign, and like the whole Arbiter storyline and like the fucking grave mine at the end, like, dude, I fucking love Halo 2's campaign. Just gotta throw that out there.
It is greatly improved by the Anniversary Edition too.
Oh, okay.
It is
Unlike Halo 1.
It's so good.
All right, 41. We have Sid Meier's Civilization 5.
The definitive Civilization game.
I'd like to point
it really
out
is.
that I am undefeated in this game in multiplayer.
Whoa.
I have a absolute 100% win-loss ratio because I was playing with friends and we hopped into Sid Meier 5, hanging out, vibing. I make friends with all of the city-states. 2 people that got bombed by the really aggressive folks. I was like, hey, you want to vote for me to win to screw these guys over? They were like, fuck it, let's do it. So I won a diplomatic vote via people who just hated the people who were bombing everybody. It was fantastic, and I haven't played the game since.
I mean, why would you ever play again when you beat the game?
Yeah.
I absolutely won't, honestly. I will hold that to the grave, honestly.
Josh, famously the first person to shorten it not to Civ 5, but Sid Meier 5.
Yeah, that's Sid 5.
Sid 5.
No, I fucking love Civ 5. It's the first Civ I ever played like properly, and I lose tons of time in this game like everyone does. And I recently tried to get into 6 on I got the big bundle for really cheap, and it's not. I don't like it as much. I thought it was overhyped, that it wasn't as fun, but I'm not digging it. I'm a 5 Andy.
That's fair. All right, number 40, we have Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Good game.
It's a really, really good Souls game, and it's probably my favorite.
Yeah, this was Ross's number 1 game on his list, and this must have shown up on someone else's list.
It showed up on a lot of lists.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people like this game. It's a good game. Too difficult. I'll never play it.
This is one of the most like thematically interesting Souls likes to me. Like this is
For
one
sure.
that like
It
calls to me more than other
requires
ones.
time and effort, whereas I don't feel like Souls games do. That's my hot take.
Yeah, that's a fair hot take, but also it's just pressing the LB button. Like, it's just uninteresting to me. I've tried.
Souls games are just pressing B. and
Souls
not
games are just rolling, and I think that
and
really
Elden
just
Ring
boils
is just
down
jumping and
exactly,
Ongo Bongo.
and
So what's your
and
point?
Ongo Bongo exactly. That's why none of them are any interesting at all, and they're all bad games. No, I think that Sekiro is just for a very specific group of people that like that gameplay style, and if it suits you, it's perfect. It's great. Unfortunately, it doesn't suit me because I prefer to dodge. Parrying just gets a little old to me. It's not more of a dance. It just feels more like a tedious task. I just don't really like it.
Sekiro is not for quitters. That's all.
That's
I'm gonna
fair.
say.
Have you beat Bloodborne?
No, because that game's terrible.
Whoa.
I'll
I think
die
it's
on
on
that
here.
hill.
I think I see Josh's wife.
It's not
like,
on
right
here.
now,
It fell
getting on a
off.
plane.
Yeah, no, I didn't put it on here. I was just talking shit. Just because I don't like Sekiro.
No, that's fine. I know you don't like Sekiro.
Yeah, spoiler alert, Bloodborne didn't make the list. It was close, but it didn't make it.
No.
Also, I do want to fix a correction here. Ross did not put Sekiro number 1. He put it number 2. Sonic
Yeah.
Adventure was his number 1.
Sonic
Fuck
Adventure was
yeah.
his number 1.
Love to hear it.
I was going to say.
All right, number 39, we have The Witness.
That was me.
That was
It's
you?
a puzzle game. It's actually like really like God. I don't want to spoil anything, but like there's a moment in The Witness where you're like I had an epiphany moment and it was
Whoa.
like, no, I can do this. And it just that capstoned the game for me. Like I still remember the moment and it was peak. Like I don't know what else to say without spoiling it, but it's like
Yeah.
like you transcend to another plane of existence type moment. I'm just like, oh my God. And then it's like, shit, I gotta play the rest of the game again.
I think it's hard to talk about The Witness is, because it is
Yeah.
it
It's
is
a
a
puzzle
puzzle game through and through. Like, it is puzzle after puzzle. If you like that, you're gonna love the game.
Yeah.
Number 38, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. For me, I think it's the best Uncharted game. This was near the top for me. I think this was my number 4 game. I love Uncharted 4. I know it's somewhat controversial to say it's the best Uncharted. A lot of people say 2, but I do think Uncharted 4 is just fantastic. It is a very
Why do
cinematic
people say
experience.
2?
Yeah, two is among the favorite Uncharted games, and that's typically the answer when you ask someone what their favorite one is. And I don't know, Uncharted 4 is great, and I didn't include on my list what was essentially DLC but a standalone game, Lost Legacy, another fantastic game. So it's not on here, but it spun out of Uncharted 4, another good game, and yeah, I don't know, I love it. I would recommend it, and I think it's one of those games you can even play it having not played the first 3 Uncharted games, although you get way more out of it if you have spent all that time with the characters. Number 37, we have League of Legends.
Yeah, it's a good game. The best game I've ever played where I got called, I don't know, every racial slur I've ever heard of. By Josh's clan.
Let's yeah, exactly. Let's be honest. I mean, I hated League of Legends up to a point. I'm enjoying it a little more now, but that doesn't expunge the hatred I have for it for God knows how many years. That said, it produced probably the most passionate and interesting like championship mentality. It's the most easy to watch like esports game. I think it could have pioneered I think it kind of did the esports like legacy.
For sure.
So I mean, credit to it. I mean, it's still, even to this day, like I'm bad at it, but I'm a little less competitive, so I can enjoy it. It's fun. It really is.
I've played League on and off since 2011, but like I've gone through phases. Like I'm at my lowest probably now, where I play like once, or twice a year, like very, very rarely in the last couple of years. I'll just kind of get into a vibe. I have been recently actually playing, but honestly, yeah, this has been like, this is a game that I just come on and off with. There's like a friend I play specifically with, and it's always been like a fun thing to just like, hey, we haven't played games in a while, or hey, we're bored. We'll hop on, we'll like kind of chitty chat, but like also we don't have to. We can just kind of like talk about the game and just kind of like be like, they're in this lane. How's your build? We got to like, it's just like we're very immersed in like what's going on because there's so much going on. And it's kind of a fun way to like, it's kind of like almost like a fun way to catch up without having to catch up, which is fun with people. And also, yeah, I just find it like super easy to get into, and it gives you like that power fantasy when you do well. And if you don't do well, there's always like Civ wise, like there's that one more turn. Like I'll play one more game, even though it takes fucking forever. I'm like, I've always fallen into that trap of like, okay, that was a bad game, but that's okay. There was like this mitigating factor. I'm going to end on a win. We're going to end the night on a win. We're going to end the night on a win. And it'll be like 4 a.m. I'll be like, we're not going to end the night on a win, but it's okay. I don't know. There's something about League that just like brings me back every time. It's very addictive.
Number 36, we have Celeste.
Also mine. Yeah, Celeste for me didn't click the first time I played it. I actually got it on my Switch, and I blame the Switch controls for being garbage for why I stopped playing it. But then I got on PC, and I couldn't stop playing it, and I did speed running of it, and I learned a bunch of little techniques and stuff, and did a whole lot of completion stuff in it. And for me, like, it's really interesting. It's the first game that I kind of understand the use of game design in the sense of like, it's a 2D platformer and the levels are designed to make you feel certain ways to help complement the narrative story behind it. Like a lot of 2D platformers can be like, okay, you jump through the level and then here's a cutscene that feeds you the story. But the actual act of going through the levels, especially in the end game content, really gives you an emotional like tether to what the main character is feeling, and that's incredible in a game that is literally jumping from platform to platform. So
yeah, I feel like it's like the ultimate game for impact.
For sure.
Ultimate game
all time.
for impact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to number 35, we have The Last of Us Part 1, which, for the purposes of this whole thing, just kind of combine Last of Us Part 1 with the original Last of Us, the Last of Us remaster, all that kind of shit.
All
Just
three
put
versions?
them all into one. Yeah, all 3 versions. Just put them all into one, and Last of Us Part 1 right here.
And the show, right? That gets included.
And not the show. No, no.
Oh, I would prefer the show to be included.
Oh, no.
Was Zaddy?
So, Last of Us Part 1, it's a masterpiece of a video game. Obviously, this was near the top of my list. What was it for me? It was I had this at my number 3. So, this is very high up for me. I just think it's nearly a perfect video game, especially like from a narrative standpoint, from a cinematic narrative standpoint, it is nearly a perfect video game. I recognize why it isn't going to be for everybody, but for me, I love it, and that's why it's so high up on my list. And I'm glad it's here in the top 35 of our top 100.
I mean, narratively, it's probably one of my favorite games I've played to this point, so it's warranted, I think. It broke me down and ruined me. So, yeah, credit to it. It was really good.
All right, number 34, we have BioShock.
It was a good game.
Have none of us played BioShock?
I did. I played all of BioShock. Yeah.
I haven't
You've played
any
all of BioShock, Paul?
Yeah. Multiple times.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no
Would
idea.
you kindly?
Yeah. Would you kindly?
I had no idea.
Yeah. I played it a long time ago when I was like a kid, but I also played it 4 years ago, like through.
Okay.
And yeah, it's great. I mean, there's some really creepy stuff. It's one of those games that like I think doesn't hold up the same now, but you can see how it was such a massive stepping stone to stuff we got later. But I mean, like I think like the ultimate twist and some of like the narrative like it's like the illusion of choice is very like you are evil, fuck it, either a fucking Satan or you're the nice guy, and it's very, I don't know, it's fine. But it plays with a lot of like really intriguing stuff that I think games took more narrative chances in like AAA titles after that.
This has been on my list forever, and I just watched I don't know if you guys know the YouTube channel called Gamers, where like the A is a V, it's like upside down or whatever. It's just stylistically, that's how it's spelled. But they do video game documentaries, and they just did one on BioShock and basically the whole franchise. And even before that, I had been like grappling all weekend and the prior week, like saying, I'm going to finally start BioShock, but then I started Star Wars instead. It's always one of those things where I'm like, I'm going to eventually get to it, but I never do. I really want to.
I think you would really like BioShock.
I think so too. I just need to play it. All right, number 33, we have Portal 2, a game that I can't play without throwing up.
I can't believe that game got your ass with the motion sickness. Like, it's so great, but it also makes sense because, I mean, you know, you're literally jumping through portals and looking through one way, going a completely another way. It'd be like driving on the interstate and immediately switching into oncoming traffic. Just not a good idea. But Portal 2 is fucking good.
I like how you describe that as like not a good idea. Like that's the level of danger I would call, I don't know, like not a good idea.
It's pretty chill, you know. Yeah, it is what it is. A big semi headed towards your way. It's fine. Just verve out of the way.
Yeah.
I love Portal 2. I think it's great. Fantastic. I like it. And it's a fucking puzzle game.
Yeah, I so badly wish I could play it.
So many people put it as like their number one game of all time. It's always on like the top 10 or even top 5 lists of games. I just don't play puzzle games that much, especially, I don't know, man, I just never clicked for me. I played the original one and I just kind of bounced off. Maybe I'll give it another try because I just like, it's so iconic. Also, I just want to hear Cave Johnson. I've regularly watched Cave Johnson quote compilations on YouTube like over and over again because I love like the backstory and like the whole concept of everything that went down there, and like you hear the deterioration in his voice, and the whole fucking thing is incredible, and J.K. Simmons is awesome. But I just like I don't want to do the puzzle stuff. I just want to hear that.
You just want to hear when life gives you lemons, give the lemons back.
It's back. You asked to speak to their manager. Yeah.
Yeah. That was like Portal 2 is surprisingly tragic.
It is
like surprisingly tragic. And then, you know, the rest of the game happens.
All right, number 32, we have Fable. And I can imagine whose list this was on. I think this was on a couple lists, but Josh?
Wasn't on my list. We ain't got Fabian here. Yeah, no, I never played the first Fable.
Oh, okay.
More
Yeah,
like Fable.
It was Fave's number 2.
Yeah, I never played the first Fable. I played Fable 2. I watched Josh try to play Fable 1, and I'm in the Josh camp of it does not stand up.
It did not age well. Even the remastered, it aged about as poorly as just like a banana. It just did not go well.
I love the idea of aging as poorly as a banana. That got me.
Number 31, we have Battlefield 4.
Oh,
No,
love this shit. Battlefield 4 is my favorite Battlefield. It's not even close. As far as my list goes, it made 9. So as far as shooters go, it's my second favorite shooter. I love Battlefield 4. I think it's fucking fantastic. All of the different like ways you could play with all the unique servers, being able to just go onto like an Operation Metro map with like 1,000 kills being the requirement, and it's just a bunch of fucking idiots with a bunch of assault rifles and like revives just flying down a subway hall, just spamming bullets is the best thing ever. I think Battlefield 4 was like the peak of Battlefield. A lot of people will argue Battlefield 1, but Battlefield 4 to me was just cracked. I loved it.
Yeah, so it scored really well on your list and Patreon supporter Cole T. So that's basically how it got.
Coltrane, baby.
Yeah, that's how it got to where it was on the list.
Based.
Yeah. No, I mean, Battlefield 4 was pretty sick. It wasn't as good as the Battlefield 2 demo that Matt and I played, but pretty good.
Yeah. All right, number 30, we have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
It's pretty good.
I mean, it won all its rewards and shit for a reason, but there's also
won its rewards.
But it also rewards awards. Who knows at this point? A lot of broken weapons took us to get there. I don't know. This one, I don't know about this one.
I like how you took the mic to like talk about it, and you have nothing to say.
nothing positive to say at all. I'm like, as I started talking about it, I was like, maybe I could spin this. Nope. I hated this fucking game.
I recognize the greatness of this game, and I understand why people love it. It's just, I mean, I've said exactly why I don't like it before. It's too open. It's too open-ended, and I don't like the weapon breaking. And those two things they're just game breakers for me.
I don't want to make my own fun.
Exactly. I
I'm
want to be
too old
told
for
what
that
to
shit.
do. I want
Yeah.
to be told what fun to be had.
Please, at least like a framework of fun.
Yeah. All right, number 29, we have Final Fantasy VIII.
I just need a moment to talk about how Breath of the Wild was like in the mid 20s on our list, which is like honestly
30, yeah.
like breaking. It would break the internet if anyone actually paid attention to this. And also like we had fucking nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
We were just underwhelmed as could be.
I'm sorry, but I was taught that if I have nothing good to say, I shouldn't talk.
There you go. Yeah.
Mhm.
Nah, fuck that shit. Fuck you, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, bitch about it.
Yeah. The internet will hate us. Number 29, Final Fantasy VIII. I don't think any of us have anything to say about this game, but it was on multiple lists. And so I feel like I need to try it at some point. I feel like this is one of those like 2 people, 3 people who had it on their list grew up with this game and were very fond of it. And I don't know if it would be super easy going back to it. There's a remastered version that it's free on PlayStation Plus, so I added it to my library, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll be trying it.
Yeah, this is where we get into some of the biases of our list, where it like can be easy for a couple people to kind of like rank something up a bit higher because it's like, but maybe I'm wrong. Like I don't know, but like
Final
if you
Fantasy
ask me,
VIII
I'd say
is
like
a pretty well acclaimed game.
I was saying I would have thought 7 would have been like much higher than 8 if you pulled like randomly.
Yes.
Or even 9
That's
or
what I'm
10.
saying. So, but it's like if some people have like a lot of feelings, we can bias it. So it's interesting to see that.
That's the thing is like Final Fantasy VIII is not usually at the top of Final Fantasy lists. It's usually
Right.
7, 9, 10, 6, 4 even. So like it's interesting that 8 is a favorite among Goodnight Groofs community. Number 28, Super Mario Odyssey. I think objectively at this point, the best 3D Mario game. It's just so good.
It's there. You might make people angry because Super Mario 64 and Galaxy exist, but
Yeah, it's better.
I love Odyssey though too. I'm with you. I think it just controls the best. The like ideas behind it are the most unique. I don't know. It was just fun, man. It was just unadulterated fun without being hindered too much by having to figure out what the fuck to do.
Yeah, it's great.
It was okay.
It's plain fun. Good old plain fun.
I think I single-handedly would say that Matt turned me off the Switch by recommending that this be my first Switch game.
Wow. That's
You hate
insane.
it that much, huh?
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't hate it that much. It's just like, but I will say it was like a weird, like I played it and I was like, oh, it's like the fun of childhood again. And I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not into Mario. I don't know. It was like fine. It's fun.
Platformers. You don't like platformers. Like
that's the thing.
If you even like platformers a little bit, you have to like Super Mario Odyssey. There's
that's
no
the thing.
way.
I think maybe I don't like 3D platform. I like 2D platformers. I don't know if I like 3D platformers anymore. I don't know. I like Banjo-Kazooie. That's it. The remaster of that, perfect.
It's so funny to me. Like I can't, and I'm sure this goes for other people with different genres. 3D platformers are so quintessential video game to me. It's hard for me to understand why people wouldn't like them.
You know, it's weird too. Like I liked Super Mario 3D World weirdly.
Yeah.
Like, and I thought that was really fun. Like, 'cause I like it when it was more like pared down. I don't know. Maybe it was because it was too open, like too big. I don't know.
That could be. Odyssey is.
It wasn't
fairly
bad.
open.
I enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't like I just didn't click with me. But maybe if I give it more time. To be fair, I was also having like growing pains with the Switch. I was just joking.
Number 27, we have Warcraft 3.
Oh, I'm getting teary just thinking about it.
Yeah, great game.
This is a great game. This got so high up for multiple reasons. I'm pretty sure Spencer put this as his number one.
I can check on that.
Which is pretty intense. I put it pretty high. I mean,
it
this
was his number one, yeah.
It was his number one because for nostalgia purposes.
It was your number 10.
Yeah. So, you know, I didn't put it as high. I had it higher initially, and then I was trying to really like pare through and go like, what really means something to me and like has that lasting staying power. But man, oh man, Life of a Peasant, fucking Kodo Tag, all those custom maps, Dota. You know, there's so many crazy things on that were so fun that I think just like transcended the game itself, but also the story was fucking bomb. The cinematics were insane. The RTS style was incredible. It was the foundation of what WoW was. The Rexar storyline where you can actually play like a third person RPG that was almost like a prototype to what WoW was going to feel like. Oh, I could go on for Warcraft 3 forever, but I mean, this is a quintessential game for me that like I often don't talk about or think about enough because it's kind of faded to World of Warcraft. But I mean, this was massive to me, and I played it for many years after WoW was out as well.
Agreed.
I think it's funny. I was playing League of Legends this past week with Paul and our buddy Spencer, and even like the movement icon, the arrows like converging and going into the ground, like that animation is from Warcraft 3. It is. This game has a legacy that has far outlasted the game itself, which is kind of weird to think about because of what it spawned with the MOBA genre. But yeah, I mean, Warcraft 3 is an all-timer for sure.
I mean, its DLC also has literally arguably one of the greatest stories ever told in gaming. So I mean, it's pretty
forgetting
nuts.
that Arthas is Frozen Throne. It's Warcraft 3 DLC, and that's like the fucking best that Warcraft has to offer story-wise too, which is insane.
Yeah, Frozen Throne is far better than Reign of Chaos for sure.
Yeah.
All right, number 26, Halo 3.
Boy!
Oh, mama. Oh, mama.
Yeah, it's cash.
Yeah, it's major cash. I was trying my best. I had a lot of trouble here ranking Halos, and I had too many Halos at one point. I had 4 in Reach and 3 and all this stuff because I controversially like 4 a lot. But dude, 3 is the fucking shit, dude. 3 was my first proper Halo. I came home every day and fucking played this for like 3 hours. I had the perfect like assault rifle amount of shots to then immediately do a beatdown, and like I could just cheese my way through everything. Fucking love this game.
Tell me real quick, like, why do you like it so much more than Halo 2?
Well, I'll tell you 2 reasons. A, Halo 2 is an Xbox game, not an Xbox 360 game.
True.
So as like a kid, it felt dated. The live platform was weird on 360, I feel, and I just didn't get to play it in its heyday. And also, I don't know, again, to me, it was like 360. That was a big graphical jump from 360 to 360. And I think it just looked really polished, looked really clean. It just had a different vibe. It was a little less gritty, which I think, you know, some people liked and some people didn't. But I just felt they really nailed it. And again, I didn't really have that comparison. Like I played the campaign for 2. I played a little bit of 2, but like I never got to enjoy it when it was the new. So I don't, It's tough for me.
That's so weird. I don't in my mind, I don't remember the visual leap from 2 to 3, but I guess you're right. There would have been a massive visual leap.
It was simplified a lot. Like 2, they actually kind of, I feel like from 1, like elongated and like rounded the characters more and made them feel like more like a real character. And I think 3 really like went more, I won't say low poly, but like much more minimal textures, much like larger, flatter, not so detailed in like a cool way that I liked.
What happened to your fun facts?
Well, I mean, to be completely candid with you, I was using your friend ChatGPT to write them all. And yeah, and I actually got rate limited at a certain point, and I just gave up on continuing. There's only so many things you can ask ChatGPT in an hour until it gets mad.
Really?
Yeah, you never tried to give it 50 fun facts in a row.
Right, yeah. All right. So number 25, top 25 now, Stardew Valley. Mike, what do you think?
It wasn't on my list.
But you're the one who
No, I
has
know.
played this
You
game.
asked what I think, and I think it wasn't on my list. It's a very good farming sim. It kind of writes the playbook for farming sims. Like every farming sim is trying to be Stardew, but every farming sim kind of falls just a little bit short. And yeah, it really brought, I think, at least in the modern age, the idea of a solo developer to light. Like it made solo developers kind of like these superheroes that can just crank out a game in 7 years and have it be a unified vision, which we've seen some games that lack it and some games that struggle. So yeah, Stardew Valley, I think it's deserved to be this high on the list. Honestly, I kind of just forgot about it. All of the updates and continuous development of it has been fantastic, and yeah, it's good and deserving.
Yeah, I did just assume that it was on your list, so I did typecast you on that. Yeah.
I just want to say, minus like maybe 2 things I can see, every game in the top 25 is like a fucking banger certified GOAT, except like 2 games that are going to be really controversial.
I agree. I do feel like our top like 35, 40 is very solid.
I'm interested to see what your controversial ones are.
I actually might change that to 3.
Ooh, what's the third one? We'll get to it. All right, number 24, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Before Breath of the Wild, this was often considered the best game of all time.
Yep.
It has definitely fallen off, so I feel like being at 24, pretty appropriate. Maybe a little bit low as far as the Goodnight Groofs community, but
it's nice that it beat all our other Zeldas by
that's
quite
true.
a bit.
It did. No Wind Waker, like anywhere near the list. I'm a little surprised about that. A little surprised. But Wind Waker never gets love. It deserves it. It never gets it.
I don't know if it deserves it, but
Ocarina of Time, maybe a little sacrilege. Not sure if it's held up all that great. I don't know.
I mean, my hot take is I prefer Majora's Mask.
I agree.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time sucks fucking dick. Game controls like shit.
Wow.
Fuck that shitty game.
I mean, I like that Mike's
It
like
didn't
my
age
hot take
well
is Mike's like my hot take is Majora's Mask is a bit better. Josh's Ocarina of Time sucks.
It sucks dick. Fuck that game.
The DS version is apparently pretty good.
DS standing for Dick Suck.
That's the one I played and I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think I played it when the DS had the joystick on it.
Yeah.
It felt weird and funky.
That's fair.
Also, I didn't want to play something with like 5 polygons.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
that's true. Number 23, we have Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
I'm assuming this is one of the controversial ones,
This
baby.
was one of my controversial takes, I think, here. This is a bit controversial.
Well, eat my butt. This game fucking slapped. I just think the multiplayer in this shit was peak. It was wonderful strategy mixed with the delight of shooter combat mechanics. I just think it was just a wonderful mix, especially during the time of the Xbox 360 when you either had really great shooters or just awful dog shit shooters. And I think it managed to ascend itself to the solid shooters and was great. Yeah, the first person like single player story was about as basic as you could imagine, but man, it was just so unique and fun, and I just love Rainbow Six Vegas 2. If they released a fucking like re-release of the game at like $100 for the re-release, I'd be like, bet, great, here you go, take my money, because I'm a goddamn simp for it. I just love it to death, man.
Very good. That's totally fair, because there are a couple games coming up that I think the other two controversial ones that Paul was talking about they're higher up because they're high up on Paul and I's list, and Rainbow Six Vegas 2, it's high up on your list, high up on Fave's list. So look, this is not the top 100 games of all time. This is the Goodnight Groofs and the Goodnight Groofs community top 100 games of all time. So that's what matters here.
Yeah.
All right. So just as a reminder, Dark Souls 1 would have been here in this spot at 23. So going forward now, 22, Fortnite.
This is not one of my controversial picks. I think it is pretty fair in modern day to say this could be a top 25er. I think there could be some argument there, but yeah, I mean, I think it played pretty high for me. Not as high for Matt. Matt did actually. I think did it not make it, or it was 20?
It was not on my list.
Was not on your list, which
20.
is pretty wild. I'm actually surprised it got up that high. I don't know the list, but I'm psyched. I put it pretty fucking high. But yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite games of all time. What can I say? I hate to say it. I don't hate it, but I'm a little embarrassed because I mean, it is. I don't know. I'm really impressed with how quickly they can turn things around. The game is constantly changing, constantly evolving, very rarely going back in a way that like I feel sucks. I will say I'm still pissed about the recent changes with removing trios and some other things, but like that aside, I think everything they add is usually a positive, or at the very least something that was great was vaulted and brought back. You can play fucking Geralt with Spider-Man's web shooters and fucking lightsaber, and that's the stupid and like a Nimbus cloud from Dragon Ball. It's the stupidest fucking thing in the world, and it is so fun. It's just fun. Like honestly, if all this like buy-in shit was here and the game sucked, I wouldn't be saying this. But the gameplay is just so solidly fun and inventive and interesting, but not too crazy. It's insane. I don't know. They've done a really good job, and I think I'm glad it's in the top 25.
So the reason it was so high is because it's number 3 for you. It's number 5 for Moop. And I know Ross really likes Fortnite as well. It didn't make his list, but I know he likes it. So there are people that like Fortnite in the Goodnight Groofs community. All right, number 21, we have Fallout 3.
Ooh.
Boy, golly gee, I don't know who wants to take this one. Fuck it, I'll take it. I mean, Fallout 3 is it's my third favorite compared to 4 New Vegas, but that doesn't mean it's like bad. It's just not up there. But Fallout 3 is still fun. It's a good time. I think the biggest issue it has is even though you have sequence breaks where you can change the story based on how you explore, I still feel like it's a little too linear. And the exploration is a little too on rails compared to what should be of quality for a Bethesda game, especially considering they hang their hat on exploration and not story. Right. But other than that, I mean, it's still great. It's a blown up Washington, D.C., which is fun to explore. So
this is tied for me with Fallout New Vegas as my favorite Fallout. Like I know it's a hot take, and I know some people. The reason it's even this high, I think, is because I believe Spencer said he put it higher than New Vegas, and I think some other people. So, I don't know. I like it. It was my first experience with Fallout. I think the exploration to me and like happening upon random shit is better than New Vegas. Like I think you can find random Easter egg, funny, strange shit better than New Vegas, and they wrote in a lot of that stuff, and I like that a lot. But that being said, I think obviously the story is better in New Vegas. The gray morality is a lot better than you are Satan or you are God in Fallout 3. I think there's like a lot of things you can say about that, but man, fucking 3 Dog and just the experience in the Metro, and dude, I fucking love 3. It is just like, it's one of the few AAA like big exploration games that like hooked me at a young age, in a way that, again, I will say like New Vegas didn't quite hook me in the exploration as much.
I'm shocked that there wasn't a Fallout game in your top 20.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably an overlook. Honestly, I probably forgot.
I think it's interesting that, so the 3 like Fallout games that you think about, 3, New Vegas, and 4 were all over the Groofs community lists. Like so many appearances of these games, and I feel like some people thought that they maybe had to pick one to put in their top 10, or like maybe pick 2, but I think one person had all 3. I think that was you, Josh, in your top 20, but yeah, these games were all over the top 10 lists, and we'll be revisiting one of them soon. Number 20, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords.
I'll take that because that was mine and fave, I believe. I didn't play a lot of KOTOR 1 because it wasn't my game, but I did get KOTOR 2. I played the shit out of it, and it gets a lot of crap because it was unfinished, but what was in the game was pretty good from a character development and even like from an overall story standpoint. Like the story completely shifts if you're good versus evil. I love the fact that you can turn any of your crewmates into Jedi if you want, or Sith, depending. And then the big reveal at the end, huge, like massive twist that I was just like not seeing coming, especially when I was, 12. So I don't know. It was my first, like, I would say serious Star Wars game.
Yeah.
I played a bunch of other games before that, like Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy 1 and 2. But KOTOR for me, KOTOR 2 especially, was like my first big RPG. And I feel like it's just, for that age, it was super fleshed out for an RPG. Like going to the Sith like Academy on Corrigan, I think it's called. I don't remember.
Korriban,
thank you. Going to there and like having to pass all of their tests in order to access deeper into the facility and learning about the Sith in a way that wasn't taught to you from the movies or any other media was like super cool. Really enjoyed it. I'm excited for KOTOR remake, but I'm also nervous. But I'm still excited because Revan's cool.
Probably one of the earlier examples of really good storytelling in video games.
Yeah.
All right, number 19. So we're within the top 20 now. Hades.
Fuck yeah.
Great game.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, do you wanna talk about it? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, sure. It is probably the first game that I've experienced in a while that has been, oh my god, there's more game. That is the best way to describe my feeling while playing it. Is like I Hades didn't hook for me the first time I played it. It took me a second playthrough because I played it the first time, did like 2 runs, and I was like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, the combat's kind of simple. I'm just going to dash around and I have Poseidon Wave and I'm just going to keep dashing. And I died to this boss. Why would I grind this out? And then it's like, oh, wait, there's more game and then more game and then more game. And like it does all of the additional mechanics without making it feel bloated or overbearing. And the relationships and the character storytelling and the narrative being, at least for me, because like having a knowledge of like Greek mythology, I was just like, oh, I understand. I know what this story is. I know what's going on. I know why, Demeter is an ice bitch. Like I understand. But then, getting to the end, it allows you to have the like it's true for the most part to like what the source material is of Greek mythology, but then it's able to spin it a little bit, whereas it still keeps you on your toes if you do know the story of Persephone and Hades. And yeah, just the relationships and everything A+.
I think, obviously, like the voice acting is really good. The art's amazing. The gameplay is so polished. But
Yeah.
I do think the legacy of Hades is going to be that they figured out how to tell a story in a roguelite.
Yes.
Yeah. The idea that I'm almost excited to die because when I get back, there'll be new options to talk to people and I can continue furthering my relationships. And every time I come back, sometimes different people aren't there or are there. And it's like, fuck, I wish like fucking Meg were here right now because Megara is mommy, which is another good reason why the game fucking rocks. But yeah, I never wanted to die in a roguelike more than I wanted to die in Hades. But I also want to keep playing. It is like you were saying, Mike, like it's more game. Oh, there's more game. There's a lot of times where, there's more game. Sometimes it's like annoying to me in a game. This is like the full opposite where it's like, oh my God, like it just keeps going and going. And I'm so hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome game. I'm excited to see what they are doing next with it's Hades 2, right? That's
Hades
what they're calling
2,
it, right?
yeah, nice and
We'll see.
simple.
All right, number 18. Maybe one of the ones that Paul was considering controversial, Conan Exiles.
This is number one most controversial choice, I think, here. Although there is going to be another one, but this is the one that I think has the most contention. This is fucking crazy. This shouldn't be in the list, but because of you and me, and probably also Spencer, this got jammed up high.
Yeah.
I fucking love Conan Exiles. This is the best survival like building game that I've played. I think that's tough to say, but I think it's true. I think it has the survival mechanics really great, drinking, eating, having to stay out of the sun, stay out of the cold. I also think the building is really robust and incredible. I like that you can change your dong size and have a big hanging dong, which is pretty funny. I like that there's a big ERP community, even though I don't want to be part of it. It's like pretty funny to want to play the game, and it's most of it is crazy sex shit. No, I mean, and the map is absolutely gorgeous. It's relatively humongous. Both maps now. And they do like a ton of development on it. And it's huge. You can like just spend, I mean, when we play, we just like travel around and we find like the best place to like put our house, and then we go and we get our resources, and like it sounds like every other game, but it just feels like very real, but also still very gamey. And it's just, I mean, I always remember the time when we like we were playing on an RP server, and we went to like a wizard's tower by accident, and he's like, come back tomorrow, I'm having a party. And then we went back, and there was this crazy party, and we couldn't get there again this time because we didn't have like any of our cold gear, and we had to run across this bridge. And the bridge, as soon as you go across the bridge, it goes into like the ice territory, and we started like freezing our literal dicks off. And we had to cheese it so we could get through the ice. And dude, it's a classic fantasy game. It feels like you're playing a classic fantasy adventure. It's very cool.
I think it's highly dependent on the server that you find to play on, but there's so much potential there with the game. It's just so fun. It's grounded, and it makes sense because it is lower fantasy. Like there's a groundedness to it and a realism to it that just makes you want to explore. And I don't know, it's really good. Number 17, we have Halo Reach. Go for it.
Yeah, this is the GOAT. Halo Reach is the best Halo game. I think it's uncontested. Halo 2 enjoyers might disagree, but honestly, Halo Reach is the GOAT. The story is the first Halo story, mostly outside of Master Chief, that succeeded and felt emotional and intense.
It's one of those game stories I mentioned where I teared up.
Exactly. It's great. Like all of the Noble Squad deaths are goated. Like all of them had these unique moments, and even though Kat did not have a unique moment, it felt unique because she just got her ass fucking got. Like that to me was unique enough to be just a wonderful moment from the Halo series, where normally you're just used to Master Chief being an unkillable god. I think it was just so well done. The multiplayer too was just fantastic. So I mean, I was addicted to that stuff. Between the ranking system, the actual gameplay, power-ups, I think Halo Reach was goated with sauce.
I would argue that Kat's death is unique in that it literally shell shocks you, right? It happens immediately. It's like ripping a Band-Aid off. She's just gone. Which, honestly, for me, I didn't like Kat, so I was okay with it. But I wanted to say, I think a hallmark of a really good story in certain regards, and Halo Reach is one of them, is that Halo Reach, the ending, but the story still grips you, and where it's going, but you don't expect it when it happens.
I was gonna say that for Matt, if there's a way to get you to want to play Halo Reach, it's that Halo Reach is Halo's Rogue One.
Oh,
yes.
It's the mission
really
that leads to the beginning of Halo, and everyone's gonna fucking die, but they have to still do this one last mission sort of, and it's very much Rogue One, and it's really good.
That last mission objective, when it pops up on your screen, you're just fuck, we're here.
It's so fucking good. They don't hold back any punches. No. They're just good luck, bitch. And you're just all right, shit.
There was never a PC version of Reach?
Not that I recall.
Is it not in the Master Chief collection?
It's in MCC.
Is it?
Should be.
Pretty sure they added it.
The game was
a
released
long time ago.
for Windows and Xbox One as part of Halo Master Chief Collection.
There you
I
go,
thought that
yeah.
was only the first 3 Halos for some
No,
reason.
they added ODST and Reach later on.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're just like, oh, people like these games a lot.
Yeah, we'll put all the ones people like in it. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
put 4 in there too.
Oh fuck! Really? Well, I mean, 4 is pretty good. I won't lie. I have a soft spot. Not the campaign, but that fucking multiplayer, dude. I don't even care. I want to play Call of Duty, but have it be Halo.
Actually, so this is weird. Reach was the first PC release for Master Chief Collection. It was Reach, then Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, ODST, and 4. So that's kind of weird.
Wow.
I'll have to check that out because that's really intriguing to me. I played a little bit of Reach and only multiplayer. I didn't play any of
Yeah,
the
you and I
story.
played when it was
Yeah.
on Games with Gold.
Yep. And I liked it a lot. I just didn't play enough. Like it was past the time where I'd already sort of grown out of Halo. Not I don't want to say grown out, but I had already moved on from Halo personally. And so it was a weird time, but I would like to go back. Check it out. All right, number 16, we have The Last of Us Part 2. And I'm kind of surprised that this is above Part 1. This is high on my list. I ranked Part 1 above Part 2. I think Dre had Part 2 really high, so I think that's part of the reason why it's up so high here as well, but I really like it. I think the gameplay is incredibly solid. I actually really do like the story. Don't love the ending, though. I think that I wanted it to end a different way, but that's a selfish thing, and that's personally how I would tell stories, how I would change it, but it is what it is. I mean, I can't really complain too much. I do really like the game. I love the characters in it, and I'm very curious to see how they adapt it for the TV show because I don't think they can do it straight up the way that they did the first game. So we'll see. All right, number 15, we have Sea of Thieves.
Oh, it gets in my veins, dude. I mean, Matt, do you want to talk about it? I feel like, you don't get to go crazy all the time.
I just think it's rare at their best. It's the best water in any video game I've ever played.
Facts.
You literally are basically embodying the life of a pirate, if that's something you're into. It's a quintessential multiplayer co-op game, some really good natural PvP that occurs. It's one of those, when I hear the term PvX or like PvPv, PvE,
Yes.
PvE,
PvPvE.
yeah, whatever the fuck. I think of Sea of Thieves because Sea of Thieves has PvE that naturally has PvP occurring because people are going for the same goals. And it's a great game. It's just such a fun... The problem with Sea of Thieves is that I think it's really bad playing solo. I have zero interest in
Same.
playing the game by myself, but with friends, I mean, it's a top tier game experience for me.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say is that I find it hard to play it in short play sessions.
True, yeah.
It really works best when you have 3 or 4 hours to kill because the game, because of that PvPvE kind of experience, the game sucks you into you just want to do one chest, one hidden treasure, and then you get it, and then someone also is going for it with you, and then all of a sudden you're chasing them, they're chasing you, you're shooting cannons at each other, your ship gets shipwrecked. Then you go find another ship, and then you're obviously going back to do the same treasure. Someone's chasing you. It's so alive, in the actual when you're playing, that it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
It's hard to just do one thing because you don't feel. Often you won't be able to even get all the treasure that you want in one quest. You'll get it, and then you'll lose half of it for some reason. You'll be like, well, that wasn't satisfying. I have to keep playing. But it was sort of because you got to have a crazy shootout with cannons and stuff. So, but it also is just a quiet, wonderful game. You can drink ale and your screen gets all blurry like a lot of games, but then you can actually throw up on your teammates. And when you do, their screen gets a big thing of vomit on it. And you can just play music. And when you play music on your accordions and your lutes and your everything else, if you're drunk too, the music is you miss notes. Which is really funny.
So good. The music part is so good.
It's great. And all the songs harmonize with each other so well. And it's just you can be on your ship at night with all your lanterns lit up and you're playing your music and someone's kind of helming you towards the sunset. And it feels, it's very special. And it's just like I said before, it captures that feeling of just fun and camaraderie that I think a lot of games don't. It's kind of what I like about Fortnite, even though it's a lot more fuck you in your face. There is this kind of just fun, goofy, do whatever you want feel. And I think that It's almost like this is kind of like my Breath of the Wild vibe. It's like where I can just go and play and make the game whatever I want. I wish Breath of the Wild had like co-op and like some big starting quest to put me on my way and water. You know what? I just want to Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. Good puzzles too. Good, interesting puzzles in the game. Number 14, Halo Combat Evolved.
How is this so high on the list?
I mean,
what do you
it started
mean?
it all. So much nostalgia. Just
above Reach?
Thinking about the days of playing in Blood Gulch with the warthogs and oh my god, dude, so many great times.
The issue is like with Halo Reach or Halo Combat Evolved, there's just so much outside of the game itself that just like brings you back to it. Like Red versus Blue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, I don't know. Halo Combat Evolved is, I mean, it's minted. It's mint on shelf.
Yeah, I do remember going through all the snow and library levels in Halo Combat Evolved.
Oh god, yeah.
And I mean, it just like hits different. I mean,
I
just
love
y'all's
the library.
reactions alone. Like, I mean, you remember it. Like, they have such a distinct moment of running around trying to find shotgun ammo, trying to find rocket launchers just to take care of the fucking flood. And then when you can't, you're stuck with a plasma pistol, assault rifles, whatever you've got. And it's incredible how they made this supersonic like soldier that's just a god like feel just like a weak bitch because he's going against a bunch of like popcorn zombies. Like it's just ridiculous. It was so well done.
It's so scary too.
It's terrifying.
Like that's
it's a
the
horror
biggest. That's the biggest miss
Yeah.
of the CE edition is that like the upgraded graphics made it bright as fuck and like it's never scary. I never play the remasters in the remaster version of Halo 1. I always go back to the old graphics because it's terrifying.
Yeah, 343 Guilty Spark was fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Josh talking about trying to find ammo, fighting the flood. It was basically a survival horror game at times.
Yeah.
Amazing game. Just so many amazing memories playing split screen multiplayer. All right, number 13, Red Dead Redemption 2. Paul, you've played it most recently on this panel.
Yeah, I mean, I won't. I've gone into it a lot on the water cooler for people who listen. I just love it for being a life sim. That's one thing I like about it. I think they've nailed that the most out of any game I've played. I've played in general that also is still a game and not like a full-on sim. I love all those aspects. I love how slow the walking is, how big the fucking environment is, how I have gotten to a point now where like the world is 3 times bigger than it was when I was last talking about the game. And it's going to get even bigger. And I'm like, I'm not even going to go to any of this shit. Just like the real world, there's like so much shit that I'm just never going to look at, but it's there and I'm going to run through it. And I don't know. There's something about that that's so untamed and open and amazing. Also, the story is insanely good, just absolutely incredible. And I haven't even gotten I'm like a third through. So, I mean, but yeah, this game ranked extremely high for me because it's one of the few AAA RPGs and like big budget games that like hooked the hell out of me. And this is an insanely immersive experience, like none other for me.
I think it's the most well-made video game we've seen so far. I think it's the most professionally done video game that we've ever seen.
It's the best photorealistic game that I've ever seen.
Yeah, and whether or not, like, the gameplay may not be your cup of tea, but I do think it's genuinely the most polished and just the most well-crafted game that we've seen so far in this medium. Just overall, whether you're talking about visuals, storytelling, lack of bugs and glitches, voice acting, just everything combined together, I think it's just the most well-crafted game. All right, number 12, we have Fallout New Vegas, the top Fallout game on the list.
What a god. What a fucking god. I mean, I do love New Vegas. I think, oddly enough, it's the one I played like least than 4. I played 4 the most,
Same.
but New Vegas I played the most, or in the most past 4. And I loved New Vegas. I just thought it, like, nothing about the combat was incredible. It was just Fallout with Fallout 3 mechanics, like slightly improved. But the factions and story and like world-based like interactions you lived were just so unique and good. You had so many different ways to interact and explore with the world. Every quest you did had a potential interaction on another minor quest that you explored and participated in. It's really hard to describe every detail because frankly, the directors had such an intense direction to detail that it was really tough to keep up with all the little details they put in the game. All the vaults were really unique and clever. I mean, let's be honest, Bethesda does a pretty good job with their unique, clever vaults, but Obsidian just went so dark and over the top with their vaults, and it was just a fucking blast. I think New Vegas was, I mean, right now it's the champion of Fallout. You managed to marry up the faction and story in Fallout New Vegas with the world exploring of Fallouts made by Bethesda, and you'll have something magical. We'll probably never see that, but I mean, it was fucking incredible.
I'll also just layer on to say, I think best like real music tracks. Fucking Johnny Guitar, Big Iron, Heartache by the Numbers. I fucking love the radio and Mr. 3000 so much. Just like really, really great. I know not everyone like listens to the radio in Fallout, but I'm a big Fallout radio guy. And it's a great soundtrack, and it keeps a lot of stuff from 3 that's really great. So it's minted.
He's got a big iron on his hip. It's cash.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I think we need a Fallout New Vegas remake. Then I'll play it.
I would shit in the floor.
Just
for
play
such
with
a
like a
thing.
texture mod or something. Get over yourself.
All right, number 11, we have Terraria. Josh, big fan of this game.
I'm back again, baby. Terraria is a lot of nostalgia for me. It landed on my list in the upper teens.
17,
great. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the fuck out of Terraria. I admit I have a lot of nostalgia for it based around Total Biscuit and Jesse Cox, which helps it a lot, but that doesn't mean it takes away from it as a game at all. I think it's fantastic. I like it more than Minecraft. I think it's more of an exploration, combat, action game. And I love it. I think it does it really well. It's kind of ridiculous at times, and some of the weapons you have are over the top, but that's part of the fun of it. I mean, the bosses you're fighting are like giant walls of meat. Like, fuck it. Just go for it. I think Terraria is just I don't know. I think it's a wonderful love letter to the survival exploration genre. And done on like a 2D plane, I think it's done really well.
Shout out to Cole T, Patreon supporter. Terraria was his number 2. And Jeremy R, Terraria was his number 1.
I was going to say, this was a real
Based.
community vote here. This was a lot of our community members really voted this one up.
All right, number 10. We're in the top 10 now. Marvel's Spider-Man. I'm shocked. It did not make my top 20. It would have been very close, but it didn't make my top 20. It's here at number 10.
It was in my top 10. I don't remember where, but it was in there.
It was your number 7.
Yeah, it was tough for me. I loved this game at launch. I came back to it again the next year for DLC, the year after that for some nostalgia. I came back the next year after that for Miles Morales, or kind of in a 3-year period. It's been a little bit since I played this game because I'm feeling like I'm getting a lesser experience playing it on PS4. Like I'm almost like, I'll just wait till I get a PS5. But then like, I don't know when I'm going to do that. / if I do that, it's going to be for Spider-Man 2. So I'm not 100% sure. I think probably my next move is going to be, it doesn't matter. No one cares. The point is, this game fucking rocked. I think Yuri Lowenthal is such a good Spider-Man. He's such a good Peter Parker. I think there's like some cringy jokes that aren't amazing, but I think that's good. I think that's part of the charm that makes it so good. I think Black Cat was rocking. I liked the Mary Jane. It was fine. But anyway, the point is, this game was amazing. Sinister Six was amazing. So many villains. Everyone was characterized so well. It's a fucking blast. And the DLCs are really, really good too, even though I found them hard as shit, but really good.
Spider-Man was Dre's number 4 and Pan's number 1 game.
Number 1.
All right, number 9 on the list, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion.
I'm shocked.
Me too.
Shocked in what way? Now hold on.
It's high on Josh's list. It's high on Fave's list. That's.
I know Oblivion's like super well liked. I'm not like it's no shade to Oblivion. I'm surprised it's in the top 10. That's all.
I like it more than Skyrim, I guess, just because I think it has the same exploration level as Skyrim, but it just has better quests. Like, I mean, the actual faction quests in Oblivion are insane. The level of like depth you have to go through to actually join the Mages Guild in Oblivion is insane. The Dark Brotherhood quest line in Oblivion is, I would put it up against most video game quest lines. It is goated with the sauce. It's insane. And now You have all that lined up. Unfortunately, the combat in Oblivion is ass shit. It is not good, but I think it carries itself with its story alone. And I think it's unfortunate because Bethesda, I don't think, has really hit their stride with that storytelling like they quite did in Oblivion. And it really was impressive with what they were able to pull off.
Evac, Evan had Oblivion at number 8. Josh had it at 5, and Fave had it at 7. So high on some people's lists. Number 8, we have Diablo 2.
This was a nostalgia point for me. I did it make my list, Matt?
I'll check. It's Mike's number 1. I can tell you
Oh,
that.
well, I'm going to shut the fuck up. I just said Mike wasn't saying anything. I didn't know.
It did not make your list, Paul.
Okay, then fuck me.
It's the best game that Blizzard's ever made, period. End of story. Yeah, I don't know. I love Diablo 2. Diablo 2 is the right amount of looter with my RPG. I've played the remastered version, and yes, I understand some people are like, why is it so hard? It's like, because that's what video games were like back in the day. Oh my God, what a concept. This is kind of back like to an hour and a half ago on the comment about the money shop in Diablo 3. Diablo 2 had its own economy and gold wasn't it. And I thought that was really unique and really cool until, that happens in WoW. But that's why I would say like it doesn't make sense to have a money shop in Diablo 3 because it feels very against the Diablo 2 and Diablo franchise persona of, what players perceive as valuable is going to become what the currency is. Like you traded runes, high level runes, runes usually, for runs of high level bosses so that you could get more levels or get more items or whatever. There was farming to be had in certain content to fund the economy that was made in Diablo 2. So I found that very cool as a 10-year-old. So, but on top of that, I don't know. Diablo 2 is just like, it's iconic in the first like world and greater world of Sanctuary that I kind of fell into, and therefore it's my number 1. It's also just very polished, and I felt like it does it does something that I feel like a lot of game devs nowadays, especially in RPG, are scared to do. It lets you just like go hog wild. Your build can get out of control and no one fucking cares. Like having multi-shot that shoots 70 arrows at once, who cares? Just do it. It's primarily a single player game. There is a lot of multiplayer stuff, but like if you scale out of control and you have disgusting builds that one shot things, who cares? It's your experience. So I really like that they allowed you to theory craft builds and build your character however you like. If you want to play a sorceress that runs around and hits people with her staff instead of casting spells, you can do that. That is a build that exists in PvP. Also PvP. First time I've really experienced PvP in an RPG. It's silly. You cut off people's ears when you kill them, and paladins run around and Fist of the Heavens, one click, one shot people. But it's fun and it's enjoyable, and people just go to the main village and run out into the first field, and you duel to the death, and it's usually very quick. But I don't know, Diablo 2 is just great. Just fantastic. A+ game.
So in addition to being Mike's number 1, Diablo 2 is number 7 on Cole T's list and number 3 on James B's list. So it was up there.
They know.
All right, number 7, we have Dark Souls 3.
As it should be. Honestly, it's just the quintessential Dark Souls game. That's really all there is to say about it, honestly. There's anything just miraculous and crazy about it, weapons or skill-wise. It's just boss-wise and world and music. It's just the complete package, and I think it's done so well. Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 have controversies for different reasons. Dark Souls 3, to me, just wrapped all that up in a nice little bow and presented it to players, and were like, here you go. And I think they did a fantastic job with it.
Really a well-regarded DLC too, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Ring City was probably the most renowned DLC for Dark Souls, and really Souls-like games in general. We'll see with Elden Ring, obviously, but I think that Ring City. I haven't played it yet. I want to, and I think that to me gives you enough of an idea. Madir, the final boss fight of the DLC that came out, is kind of renowned as like the best boss fight in Dark Souls, and I think that's fair. That's warranted. It's epic. It's over the top. And while I haven't done it, I've watched enough of it to see that it's done well enough to be like an epic fight to conclude your experience in Dark Souls.
So Dark Souls 3, Josh's number 14 pick. It's number 2 on James S's list. And for Fave, Dark Souls 3 is number 1.
Whoa.
I expect that as much. My man has played a lot of Dark Souls 3.
All right, number 6, we have Rocket League.
Damn, I'm not gonna shut the fuck up.
Take it away, Josh.
Yeah.
I was actually really pleased to see so many people have Rocket League so high up. Rocket League's just fun as hell, man. It's like, it's not your typical sports game where it's just Madden or NCAA, FIFA, NBA, whatever it may be. It's a new game in its entirety where it's just RC cars with soccer, and it's done so well. I was just like, okay, well, it's Rocket League. People talk about it. I'll just download it. And it grabbed me so bad. I'm almost 700 hours played at this point.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it is incredible. I love Rocket League. I can boot up Rocket League right now and have a blast. It's not hard. It's so good. It's so mechanically gifted as a game. It's one of the best sports-related games I've played. And frankly, if anything could challenge League of Legends from an esports narrative, I think it would be Rocket League over League of Legends.
It was number 4 on your list, Josh. It was number 2 on new community member ET Phone Homies list. And it was number 1 on James B's list. Number 1. All right, we've now entered the top 5. These are the top 5 games of all time for the Goodnight Groofs and the community. Number 5 is The Witcher 3. I love The Witcher 3. It is, for me, number 2 on my list. I know Paul is sort of a recent convert into The Witcher 3.
Number 2 on my list.
Number 2 on his list. It is just, we've talked about it so many. If you listen to this show, you've heard it over and over again, but it is the best novelization basically of a video game. The story is so well crafted. It is like reading a giant fantasy epic, and I love the world. I love the characters. I love the stories. I know there's complaints about the gameplay in some areas. It's fine for me. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's fine enough. Everything else carries it. I love the expansions. The Witcher 3 is just basically a perfect RPG for me.
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything. I actually find the gameplay, maybe it's just like a bias thing, or like it's like I don't want to say Stockholm syndrome, but just like I've come to love the combat and the movement and the gameplay a lot. When I first started playing, I found it a bit awkward, but now I think I've acclimated so much to it that I find other games that probably have better gameplay awkward, because I'm so used to the way that The Witcher does it. I have so many hours in The Witcher. But yeah, I think the horse riding is like pretty high up there in terms of like feels engaging, but isn't too like, it's not like in Red Dead where I'm like tapping the fuck out of a button, which I do love Red Dead riding, but it's different. Yeah, the riding's good. Swordplay, you can get really deep with the mechanics too, which is awesome if you want to play that way. They added like fucking rune crafting. Dude, this game is just so deep. And also, yeah, that's not even the part I fucking like. The part I like is the novelization and the story and the choose your own adventure aspects, and Yennefer of Vengerberg being mommy. So I mean, there's like just so much going on here. It's a fucking I won't lie and say I'm not a little hurt that it's number 5.
Oh,
I was hoping this would be like a numero 3 or something. I'm a little butthurt, but I'll survive.
it also has a full-on card game in it, Gwen, which is great.
Yep.
The other person to rank it was Spencer. He had it at 7. I'm a little surprised that it's only the 3 of us that had it ranked, but I also understand.
Yeah.
All right, number 4, one that I'm absolutely not surprised to see in the Goodnight Groofs top 5, and I'm honestly a little bit shocked that it wasn't even higher, to be honest. Elden Ring.
Yep. I think the only reason it wasn't higher for me is because I tried to play it post 2022 and it didn't grab me quite as much as it did. And that's not any kind of detriment to it so much as I had so much violent fun with Elden Ring. I mean, I have never felt like a kid again with Elden Ring like I did with it. And that to me was notable. I was interested to see what was around the corner, even if it was the same old boss design with one little tweak. I was excited. And that was exciting through the entirety of my first and even New Game Plus playthrough. Unfortunately, after that, it didn't really hold up and it wasn't as fascinating as some of the main bosses from like the other Dark Souls series. That said, that's not enough to really propel it past those. I mean, the open world experience, and even though there were some inconsistencies with, I guess, like exploration and leveling and how it all kind of synced up, I think to me at the end of the day, you could explore the world of Elden Ring and feel wholly satisfied, no matter if you beat one boss a little harder than the other. It felt satisfying to explore that world and see how big it really got. It felt like Dark Souls' version of Breath of the Wild, but done better. I was just really, really impressed by it.
Well, it made it onto 6 lists. So Josh had it at number 11. Fave had it at 14. James S had it at 5. James B had it at 4. Cole T had it at 10. And Spencer had it at 8. And Evac had it at 2. So it was all over the place on this.
Yeah, very popular game amongst the community. Who would have thunk?
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, do you remember Evans 1 by chance?
Yes, it was Ocarina of Time.
Damn, I'm shocked Bloodborne didn't beat out Elden Ring. That's kind of nuts. Anyways.
He had Bloodborne at 7. All right. Number 3. We're now in the top 3. Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim.
Josh just gets thrown games one after the other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Skyrim. Let's be honest. It wasn't my first Elder Scrolls, but that doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, who the fuck wasn't excited for this game? This shit released. It was a blast. It's still to this day fun. It's just the only reason it's not fun is not because the game itself is just like dog shit and no longer inviting. It's just, I mean, it's been out since 2011. There's only so much you can do with a game. We're in 2023. Like, there's only so much you can do with it at this point. But, I mean, damn. The first time exploring, having Secunda, like, the music hit when you're just exploring the night skies out. You're just wandering the plains of Skyrim. You wander onto a big city. It hits different. Skyrim was really, really incredible. You can't release a game that many times with that much success without notating how impressive it is. And I think it has done a really, really impressive job with that.
So I think this is fascinating because Skyrim ended up 3 on our list, but it wasn't higher than 5 on any single person's list. It was just that it was on 6 lists and it was high on 6 different lists. So
this is a real committee, and this is a committee one right here.
It really is. Now, I'll say Skyrim, I gave it my first real shot at it within the last year, and I really did like it. So I was a very, very late bloomer when it came to Skyrim, and I really did like it. Probably would have liked it a ton if I'd given it a chance like that closer to when it actually launched. But it makes me excited for Starfield, and it makes me even more excited for Elder Scrolls 6. But as far as the lists go, Mike had it up at 7, Josh at 12, Fave at 9. We had Cole T, Patreon supporter, had it at 5. And then we had it on 2 other lists here. Spencer had it at 9, and Evan Evac had it at 5. So it was on a lot of lists, but not higher than 5. Just accumulated a ton of points. And it just edged out Elden Ring by half a point. So, all right. Number 2, we have Mass Effect 2.
Bit of a shocker.
Mike, you want to run with it? I feel like you have a lot to say about Mass Effect 2 that I could obviously say, but run with it.
Jacob sucks. I'm glad he's dead.
Basically, yeah.
Mass Effect 2 is peak Mass Effect. I don't know where to start. Like, it's such a good intro to here's the thing. Like, Mass Effect 3 had this issue of how do you wrap up a giant branching story into 3 decisions, and oh yeah, they all don't matter and they all kind of suck. Mass Effect 2 had that same issue in that they had to start you off on a story that kind of ended in who the fuck knows where. And how do you start that? And they knocked it out of the park by just killing you off. They're like, fuck you, you dead. Now you're back to life. Start over. And, you know, like the combat polished. That was the biggest complaint of Mass Effect 1. Oh my god. Mass Effect 1 combat. Terrible. Makeouts completely scrapped. Thank God. Now we just probe planets and it's faster and nicer, and you can probe Uranus, and the VI on the ship makes comments like, really, Commander? And then she says probing Uranus, and you're just like, thank you. The characters. So the biggest thing with Mass Effect, and why Mass Effect 2 I think is better than Mass Effect 3 and better than Mass Effect 1, is that Mass Effect 2 is carried by the character development and the side stories that each character has. It kind of forces you to go and do all of their stories unless you want them to just fucking die at the end. But that's a good thing, and you should go do that. Because all their stories are interesting outside of Jacob's and some of the DLC, but we don't count them. And like, God, I don't give a shit about my shepherd. I care about, you know, fucking Tali and Liara, who isn't in it except in DLC, and that's the best DLC
you still
ever
somehow
made.
care about her because of how well it's written. It's nuts.
Right. You know, like I care about Morden and Grunt and all of my friends on the ship. The first time that I played it, I did an oopsie. I killed Jacob. That wasn't really an oopsie, but it happened.
Based.
And I was like, oh shit, he's dead. Oh no. And then I moved on with my life. The thing that pissed me off is that, like, at a point you send your crew back and you're like, crew has to go back to the ship. I'm like, okay, go back to the ship. Because my thought process as a high intellectual, like 18-year-old was, I just killed all the enemies that way. They can walk back themselves. But big brain BioWare is like, no, they die. So I got all of my crew killed, which they're nameless crew other than Dr. Chakwas, who is not a like very important character, but I was very, very upset when she died, to the point where I reloaded my save, because that's how invested Mass Effect 2 makes you of literally side characters with no story. They're just there, and I'm just like, I can't imagine playing Mass Effect 3 without her on that ship, so I'm restarting my save. I was mad that I couldn't fucking like romance her, because I kind of wanted to just chill out and drink some like cognac with her and just vibe. Like, oh my god, I can't. There's so much to Mass Effect 2, and it's all very well handcrafted outside of Jacob. I can't say that more than enough times. They were like, you know what? Caden was in the first game, so what if we make Caden but made him worse? And they thought that was a good idea. And then let's take his storyline and just make it, I have daddy issues. That's it. Yay. Jacob. But yeah, Mass Effect 2 should have been number 1 on the list.
Yeah, Mass Effect 2 is it's really good. I mostly agree with everything you said. It's I mean, you could really just show it to anybody who hasn't even played Mass Effect 1 and they'd still have a wonderful experience.
I honestly, like, if you are on the fence of the Mass Effect series, I would say don't play Mass Effect 1. As much as I love Mass Effect 1, I love the old school codex collecting and reading and like old school RPG elements of it. Play Mass Effect 2. It's the better game, it's the better experience, and you can skip all of Mass Effect 1 with a handy little comic book in which you make decisions.
All right, so Mass Effect 2 is going near the top of my list. I gotta play it.
You should play Mass Effect. Legendary Edition's out.
Nah.
Even Mass Effect 1 is more playable these days. Like, just play it. It's great.
I've played through Mass Effect 2 like 3 or 4 times.
Nice.
It's goated.
And I always punch the recorder.
So Mass Effect 2 was on 4 lists. Josh and Mike both had it at number 2. Fave had it at number 5. And then what we did, so Jeremy R had Mass Effect Legendary Edition on his list at 6. And so what we did was we split the points among Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 and gave it a little bit of a multiplier. And so he got some points for Mass Effect 2 in there as well.
Fair. That's more than fair, actually.
It is more than fair.
Yeah. More than he deserves.
So number 1,
fucking cheater.
the number 1 game.
Folks, we've been at this for 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
the number 1 game is golf with your friends, folks.
Good night.
The number 1 game on the Goodnight Groofs top 100 games of all time is, no surprise, it's World of Warcraft, and it was not even a little bit close. I mean, it just blew out number 2, and it was just nowhere close. World of Warcraft was on, hold on, let me count here real quick. It was on 8 lists. It was on 8 lists, and it was none of the patrons had it on their list.
No.
People are paying us for this podcast, and they don't even play World of Warcraft.
Half the time, all we talk about is World of Warcraft. They are saints for listening.
They are absolute saints. So let me point out where everyone had it on their list. So Moop had it at number 6. Rachel had it at number 1. Spencer had it at number 2. Fave had it at number 4. A little shocking. He had BioShock at 3. I didn't realize Fave liked BioShock that much.
Me neither.
Josh, Paul, and myself all had World of Warcraft at number 1. I know that's a big shocking revelation. Look, we don't need to belabor World of Warcraft here because, like we've just talked about, it comes up on almost every single episode of the podcast. You know we love WoW. You know how formative it is for us and how much we owe to WoW as being a huge part of our gaming history, how we've all played for like 15 plus years.
I mean, Matt and I have been friends for 17 years.
Because of WoW.
Because we met because of WoW. You and Josh met because of WoW.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So Goodnight Groofs exists because of WoW. So I think it's only appropriate that it ends up at number 1 on the list. I can't get over how fucking hilarious it is that it's not in any of the patrons' top 10s. That is so funny to me. But
got to get those SFGs out, boys. So we know we know what they're paying for real.
The Goodnight Groofs and the community, World of Warcraft comes out at number 1. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. What I think we'll do is I think we're going to publish the full list at some point in a blog post after this episode comes out. If anyone wants to be able to read it, check that out. But thank you to everyone who participated in this. We'll do it again sometime, maybe for episode 200 or something. But this was a lot of fun. And because, like Paul mentioned, we are like almost 3.5 hours into this thing now. This is going to be the longest episode of the show by far, not even close. We're skipping the water cooler. We're going to move that, take everything you played this past week, add it to next week's water cooler. But let's move on to a special shout out before we get out of here. Everyone's going to give a special shout out to anyone or anything of their choice from the world of video games and provide a quick reason why this lucky someone is getting this attention. Paul, your special shout out.
Oh, why not? I don't know. My special shout out is to my boy Gareth Kale's DJ Athelis. Bro started World of Warcraft Radio, WC Radio, back in 2004, closed beta for WoW. And because of Gareth Kales, I love me some WoW Radio. I love me some WoW. And I met me some Matt. So, I mean, shout out to DJ Athelis. And also the first person to really give TB, Total Biscuit, a platform. So, just an all-around influential person who I don't think gets brought up very often.
That's great. I love that. Josh, your special shout out.
Honestly, I'm going to have an absolute dick sucking special shout out, but a shout out to just honestly the folks who have submitted so many fucking top 10 lists. It's been really fucking cool to see an actual like community that's kind of formed around it. So thank y'all. That's really fucking neat. It's really cool.
Was it 19 lists total, including us?
Yeah, 19 lists.
That's great.
Mike, your special shout out.
Oh God. I guess I don't know. My energy has just.
Oh, God
we
bless
started talking about
Mike.
WoW, and I'm just like,
Yeah, that was me when we started talking about Mass Effect 2. I was like, I hope I don't have to say anything about WoW. I'm burning out here.
my special shout out is to I don't know. I've got nothing.
All right.
Sonic.
There you go.
To this episode being over. Hey.
There you go. A special shout out. I'm going to piggyback off Josh, but a special shout out to everyone here in Groofdom who showed up for the top 100 games list. We really do appreciate it. We had a ton of fun putting this together. And despite this being energy draining and a really long episode, I think we all had a lot of fun doing the episode.
Yeah, it's totally worth.
Definitely. It was
Totally
a
worth.
good time.
Even at the end, like I'm so psyched to talk about all these games. Any of the games that were like I was like, oh, there's no way I'm gonna want to talk about The Witcher still. No, I did want to talk about The Witcher still. I do want to talk about this shit. Obviously not WoW. We fucking talk about WoW every episode. Anytime there's any question, it was like, what's an important game to you? Well, fucking World of Warcraft. Anyway.
I can't express to you how low Paul has gotten in his chair. He's barely visible on camera.
I'm like I'm slipping down.
Bro
to
looks like
nothingness.
Evac. Bro looks like Evan.
I'm slid down in my chair. I'm almost on the floor.
He's half asleep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Game Groofs podcast, the all-encompassing weekly gaming podcast from us, the Goodnight Groofs. If you really like the show, we do encourage you to be one of our non-World of Warcraft playing Patreons and check out patreon.com/goodnightgroofs, where we currently have 2 different tiers available. Any and all support is greatly appreciated, and it's going to go a long way in improving everything here at the Goodnight Groofs. We only do a 3.5-hour top 100 podcast because of you guys in the community. The $3 plus tier is going to get you access to the show 2 days early, but a special shout out to the honorary Groofs supporting us in the $5 plus tier. And I got to say, real quick, thank you to the Patreon supporters, because all of our patrons are in the $5 plus tier. We have 2 tiers, but everyone just says, hell with it. You get the $5. Thank you guys. But that's Andre D, Cole T, Derek versus the World, James B, James S, and Jeremy R. A round of applause for them, please.
I'm not even going to make a joke. I'm halfway on the ground, but I'm going to say earnestly, like, you could just drop $3. Like, you don't need anyone to say your name.
No.
But I'm not making a joke. I'm saying you could do that.
Could, yeah.
And it's so nice that like people just want to be part of the community and have their name said and, give us the max amount of money that we're asking for. We're not even asking. We're just like, if you want it. It's just so cool. I'm not usually one to be, I like to joke that like, fuck the fans, but like, no, everyone's amazing. And like, yeah, I mean, we got to episode 100. We've done this for like 2 years.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
We're coming up on 2 years. This is
episode 100
wild.
is crazy, honestly.
Wild.
This is like the most dedication and commitment like I personally have had regarding to anything online. So it's cool as fuck that like people are still like regularly tuning in and watching this shit. It's really cool.
I was gonna say this episode's like 3.5 hours, so fuck it. But I was like, it'd be really cool if you like edited in like a little bit of episode 1 or something for like a second or. But I don't know, fuck it. But anyway, whatever. Thank you to everyone so much.
Yeah. With that said, can you also take a couple minutes to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts?
Honestly, dude, you're asking a lot. You're asking a lot. Because see, here's the thing. It's like the parent who like doesn't want to spend time with you, but but they'll like buy you something. You know. Yeah. This is them. They're like, I'll give you $5, but how fucking dare you ask for my attention?
Yeah. Make sure to check out goodnightgroofs.com for all the content you're going to find this podcast. Southern Fried Groofs, which is coming back Saturday, the 27th, game reviews and more. On the website, you're going to find a link to the community Discord where everyone submitted their top 10s list and where you can hang out with all of those people, get the quickest updates, and chat with all of us on a daily basis. But guys, before we get out of here, do we have any final thoughts?
Fuck the fans.
With Wawa as a gas station.
Yeah, that'll do it for us here today. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me here on episode 100 of Game Groofs. Take care, everyone.
Good night, Groofs.